Why is it so difficult to defend against that?
I just think that they don't come out, they don't sit on their laurels, they don't try and defend a point, they try and win football matches. And if you go back to the first game when they played Liverpool, I think Liverpool were extremely fortunate to actually come out of that game winning it. Leeds scored 3 goals. I think they could have scored a lot more. Liverpool's high line, Leeds exploited it time after time. And for me, they try and go out to win games, which is why it's difficult to defend against. And I'm sure Raheem Sterling was thankful for it, because it weren't a team that come out and parked the bus, if you like.
Yeah, definitely don't expect Leeds to come and sit back here tonight. It's just not the way that they play. The other big question, really, Kev, that we need to talk about is, who's this guy Patrick Bamford? He certainly wasn't like this in the Championship last season, widely criticised by Leeds fans, and I think Leeds fans would quite openly admit that, but for some reason in the Premier League this season he's really come to life.
Yeah, he certainly has. I mean, he didn't score the goals that Leeds supporters thought he would get. He probably didn't score the goals that he thought he'd get, and everyone was saying, can he cut it in the Premier League? Probably not. He's a decent Championship forward, but this is where Bielsa's been so brilliant. He's been so brilliant. He could have gone and got another centre forward, but he's like, no, I believe he's going to score goals, and he's certainly done that. And he looks a different player. The higher you go up the levels, you do get a little bit more time, you do get a little bit more respect from other teams. But he's been fantastic these first 4 games.
Certainly tonight, and you've mentioned Bielsa there, we would expect a tactical battle. Nuno Espirito Santo against Marcelo Bielsa has the hallmarks of being a really excellent game.
Oh, it certainly does. I mean, they're both tactically very aware, very astute. It'll be interesting to see whether tactics change during the game, how many times they do change during the game, if indeed they do at all during the game. But they're both very, very good coaches, very much hands-on. So this is a game that, I mean, I tweeted it just about 10 minutes ago. I expect goals in this one.
Thank you for saying that. Wolves obviously have got these ambitions of playing in the Premier League, and they've made big adjustments over the summer. 2 key assets have gone out in Jota, who I think is a wonderful player, gone to Liverpool. He's slotted into that team and instantly made an impact there. And then Doherty as well, he's another player that I really appreciate, who's gone across to Tottenham. And when those 2 key players go out, that does leave quite a huge void. Obviously Wolves have got these ambitions of playing in Europe, and especially now at the top of the Premier League, it's very competitive, lots of big signings coming in over the summer. Do you think Wolves have got what it takes with the players that have come in and the players that they have got starting tonight to trouble the top 6?
I think they most certainly can trouble the top 6. Whether they can push for the Champions League and get in that top 4, I'm not quite so sure. They might be just shy of that in terms of their quality. But, you know, they've got the Portuguese goalkeeper, they've got Coady, who's now broke into the England team, you've got Moutinho, then Donker in the middle of the pitch, and you've got Raul Jimenez, who scores goals, and he continues to score goals. So that's a fantastic spine they have. And if they can build around that, then they'll be up there again, that's for sure.
They've certainly got some very exciting players up around Raul Jimenez as well, the likes of Pedro Neto and Daniel Podence as well. But like very good players, very good young players who could cause some trouble for Wolves tonight. Before kick-off, which is just over 20 minutes away now, we will hear from both managers, both Espirito Santo and Marcelo Bielsa. We'll also reflect on another crazy weekend in the Premier League. We'll certainly get into that very soon. Of course, top of mind, that Everton-Liverpool game. But we'll get to that very soon. You're listening to Premier League Live. Another weekend full of goals in the Premier League, 2 derbies, for plenty of storyline in those 2 games as well. If this evening's game is anything like yesterday's action, we're in for a treat.
Mitrovic, right-footed over the bar, and Sheffield United have a reprieve. Ademola Lookman, who shifts from the left-hand side onto the right and then back again. He's still got it, Lookman. Bit of luck on the way, but that's a great finish. Ademola Lookman with his first Fulham goal in the Premier League. Goalkeeper Areola dancing on the line, sharp, right-footed into the roof of the net, and Sheffield United hit back with 5 minutes remaining. And it's Mr. Sheffield United, Billy Sharp.
Zaha right-footed against Ryan, sends him the wrong way. It's 1-0. Wilfred Zaha up to 5 goals for the season. Work there by Mopé. Shot comes in, it's 1 apiece. Alexis McAllister drills a shot in. Brighton finally 17 attempts at goal, 1 goes goalwards. A little bit of a deflection off the back of, I think it was Gary Cahill, and it looped around and into the bottom right-hand corner of Gaeta's net.
Son is in the 18-yard box, onto his right foot. Son scores inside the first 45 seconds. What a start for Tottenham Hotspur. And Heung-min Son continues this very hot streak of goal-scoring form. Højbjerg, who's been such a dynamic, steadying influence for Spurs in midfield, as Kane shoots and scores. What a goal from Harry Kane. No space to work with. Nutmegged the defender and cracked it in from 20 yards. Region with the overlapping run. It's a good cross. Kane heads it in. 3-0 to Tottenham. Cresswell looping towards Balbuena, who heads it in. And West Ham have a consolation goal, and Fabian Balbuena has his first goal for West Ham. Oh, lovely no-look pass to find Kufal. Oh, and it's an own goal, and West Ham have got another own goal by Sanchez. Nudged clear by Winks, comes out to Lanzini. Oh, he's done it. That is absolutely sensational. Manuel Lanzini has completed the most extraordinary comeback. It's an equaliser. It's stoppage time for West Ham United. They've scored 3 goals in the last 13 minutes.
Midway inside Leicester territory into Barkley. Space for a shot. No show! Oh, fantastic goal! What a fantastic goal for Aston Villa. The villains have robbed it. And that's a fantastic strike from Ross Barkley, the man on loan from Chelsea.
Was a superb hit from Ross Barkley to give Villa the points last night. Ross Barkley, one of those who certainly seems to be benefiting from the fact that the European Championships might be, and are in fact, pushed back by a year, so he'll be knocking on that England door, doing very well at club level, seeming to benefit, playing around the likes of Grealish and McGinn. But really, Kevin, I want to go back to Saturday and that Everton-Liverpool game, and the big talking point, unfortunately not the football, after a game that was full of plenty of decent goals and wonderful performances, but unfortunately the injury to Van Dijk. What did you make of that incident at the time? Did you feel that there should have been some sort of punishment in some way for Pickford?
Well, absolutely. I mean, I only saw it on social media that evening. I actually missed that part of the game and missed the tackle live. But regardless of any offside whistle or offside flag or whatever it was, the tackle was, well, it was more than reckless, wasn't it? If you do that in the street, you'd end up in prison for 4 months. It was an appalling tackle, which by all accounts has led to Virgil van Dijk being out for 8 months. Take something like that to happen for them to reassess the process that they go through when these situations occur. That could end, I really, really hope it doesn't, but an ACL has ended careers before. You know, you don't come back the same. You're always wary of it. it'll be 8 months before he returns. Maybe that's just to training as well. You can probably put another 6 weeks on top of that by the time he gets fit. His season is finished already. It's a huge loss to Liverpool, but more than that, you just hope that Virgil van Dijk can even play again.
Yeah, I mean, obviously you're in that position where you know so much more about these things because you've seen it, and just hearing those words, well, we really hope that Van Dijk can get back to fitness quickly, but also can just get back to fitness and get back to playing at all. Obviously it's a huge blow for him, a huge blow for Liverpool. Is it too much of an exaggeration to say that this blows the title race wide open, because he's such a key player for Liverpool?
Does it blow it wide open? I think it was going to be open anyway. I don't think Liverpool were going to run away with it like they did last season. Anyway, however, he's a huge presence to lose and a huge player to lose. The heart of their defence, a defence that was so rock solid last year. They've conceded 13 goals already, even with him playing. I think it was going to be more wide open than any year we've seen, potentially. But with him not being in the heart of that defence, it's going to be a huge, huge loss for Liverpool.
This is potentially not the question that you would want, Kev, but now that that's happened, and given the way that the season has started, just out of interest, who is your favourite for the title?
I honestly could not tell you. You look at that table now, Everton are sitting top. They've had a fantastic start. Matches played 5, won 4, drawn 1, still yet to lose, and they've scored 14 goals already. Aston Villa have only let in 2 goals. Can they stay there? Won all 4 games. Leicester up there again. Liverpool. It's just too difficult. I really could not call it at the moment. And you look down in 10th place, Manchester City there, played for 7 points. They're 6 points off the top. I still think they'll be a threat.
Do you know what? If ever there was an opportunity to take advantage, Spurs definitely had that yesterday and definitely blew that chance. Obviously you've got your former Spurs connection. Kevin, what happened there? What was going on?
Well, from the naked eye and from watching it, it was a fantastic 16 minutes for Tottenham, wasn't it? They were scintillating. Harry Kane in particular was magnificent, really getting back to what he was before his injury that kept him out for so long. In fact, probably he's playing as well as I've ever seen him play. But then you go in at half time, and I was actually sitting watching it with my dad, and I said, you know, West Ham will struggle to do anything before half time. It's always difficult to change while a game is going on, and David Moyes will need half time to regroup, to get them together and to set their stall out for the second half. And on the flip side, it would appear Mourinho's gone in and said, look, you know, just sit on what you've got. If we don't go into tactics, in layman's terms, he's gone in and said, sit on what we've got, you know, and we'll see the game out. But football doesn't work like that. And, you know, West Ham started the second half really well, penned Tottenham in, Tottenham couldn't get out, had a couple of chances to make it 4, missed those chances. Gareth Bale in particular was one. All of a sudden, West Ham are on top again, get 1 and then get 2, and it's game on. It's game on, and to be fair, it's a wonderful, wonderful goal. But Tottenham at 3-0 up, you know, get the next goal and the game's over. But that's football.
It was some goal from Lanzini, and, well, as Kevin said, I think in the Premier League at the moment, I don't think anybody should be coming in at half-time and saying, let's sit back and let's try and defend, because apparently in the Premier League this season, well, there aren't too many that are that good at defending. Let's turn our attention back to our game here, Leeds United against Wolves from Elland Road. And we'll hear from both managers now, Nuno Espirito Santo in a second, but first, Marcelo Bielsa.
Phillips es un jugador.
I think that Phillips is a versatile player, and he can play in different styles. In the national team, he plays in the centre, and in our team, he plays in the same position. And the things that he picks up whilst playing for England will surely make him better.
I think the schedule was not well prepared in terms of national teams. First of all, due to the pandemic, due to the risk that the mobility of persons in this world is now so dangerous, and specifically because the load that the players are being subject in these moments, in the early moments of the season, it's absurd. It's absurd. And if you add pandemic plus excessive load and players playing 3-4 games in a space of 10 days with so much short period of preparation, it's absurd, and it's creating problems.
Más allá de que more than them having some new players which they are incorporating into their team, they're a team that is consolidated in the league with a system that is ingrained within their players with a powerful competitiveness.
Leeds is a special approach of the game. We've been looking at it. I like it, but at the same time, my focus is how can I adapt and take advantage of it. But I expect a very, very tough challenge on Monday against Leeds.
Well, interestingly there, Kevin, you know Espirito Santo criticising the international break and then coming back into what is a very congested Premier League calendar, and Calvin Phillips saying that he benefits from heading off with the England squad and that he comes back to Leeds as a better player.
Well, yeah, I mean, I always was of the mindset that I'd rather play than train. I think every footballer would rather play than train. But when you're a manager, you need them to have time with your players on the training pitch, setting them out tactically and getting them prepared for each individual game. Obviously, they've been away with England, they come back, they don't get the amount of time that they would have liked before the next game. Great for us. Players probably love it. Not sure the coaches and managers do.
Couple of players who featured heavily with England during the international break playing tonight. Not only Calvin Phillips, who I mentioned just a moment ago, but then also Coady as well, playing in an area of the pitch where England certainly have struggled and certainly look like they need to fill some spaces. What do you make of those two as far as maybe making the first 11 for England in the European Championships in the summer is concerned?
I've been impressed by both of them, to be honest, when I saw them. Calvin Phillips, he's neat, he's tidy, he's got energy, he gets his foot in, he plays the game in a simple way. Really like him. Coady, come in, stepped in, didn't he? Scored on his debut. Organiser, good voice, you could hear him organising those around him, and that takes a lot when you come in for your first game. That takes a lot to come in and organise people around you that have been there and have played more international games than you. I would say he's in a very strong position. We've got a little bit of an embarrassment of riches in midfield areas at the moment, so perhaps it's probably a little bit easier for Coady to get in the international 11 at the minute as opposed to Calvin Phillips.
Just quickly, how do you see this one playing out tonight between Leeds and Wolves?
Well, I think there's going to be goals, famous last words, but with the way both teams set up, they play in slightly different ways, an embarrassment of attacking flair on the pitch. I think that we'll have goals. I think that Leeds might just edge it.
Two very attacking teams, as Kevin says here tonight. We'll be back for it very shortly. Leeds against Wolves, live from Elland Road. You are listening to Premier League Live with Adam Inca and Kevin Watson. back for TalkSport's coverage of Leeds United against Wolverhampton Wanderers from Elland Road. I'm your host Adam Inca. Alongside me, the former Tottenham and Reading midfielder Kevin Watson. This is Premier League Live. Leeds then, as far as team news is concerned, couple of moves that maybe we wouldn't have expected from a manager who is normally very much a creature of habit. Marcelo Bielsa naming both Rodrigo and Bamford in the starting 11. Leeds also thought they might have some problems at centre-back, but Liam Cooper has managed to recover from injury after being away on international duty with Scotland. So good news for him that he's back, experienced campaigner at the back for Leeds, and will certainly make a huge difference for them. And Jack Harrison is back, couldn't play against Manchester City, against his parent club. He will feature here tonight. For Wolves, really just the one piece of headline news: Ruben Neves moving to the bench. They do have the experience of Moutinho, who can slot in his place. So I'll run you through the two lineups in full. For Leeds tonight, Meslier in goal, Ayling, Koch, Cooper and Dallas make up the back four. Phillips, Klich, Harrison and Costa playing against his former sides. And then Bamford and Rodrigo. We would imagine that Rodrigo would sit in just behind Patrick Bamford. Rodrigo playing against his former coach, signed by Nuno Espirito Santo for Valencia back in July of 2014. For Wolves, as I said, just that one change with Neves moving to the bench, so they will line up with Patricio in goal, and then a central three of Willy Boly, Connor Coady and Max Kilman. Either side you'll have Semedo and Saiss, and then a midfield of Moutinho, Dendoncker, and then supporting Raul Jimenez in attack, Pedro Neto and Daniel Podence. Kev, where do you see the key areas being tonight from the home side's perspective?
Well, I'm just having a look at it, and it looks like Struijk, or Struijk is it? It looks like he's in and Cooper's out. Now maybe Cooper's had a reoccurrence in the warm-up, I'm not sure, but it definitely looks like Pascal Struijk is starting the game.
Well, that's certainly a game changer for Leeds if that is the case, because he's such a young talent, such a young player, and he's only 21 years old. So if that is the case, and if he has come in to replace Cooper, and I'm just double checking that information as well, there is a late change to the lineup, and yet Liam Cooper is replaced, so maybe it is the recurrence of that injury. We are just preparing to get underway here. Leeds in white as the players take the knee and salute the Black Lives Matter movement. And Wolves in burgundy tonight, their away strip, get us underway, and it's Willy Boly instantly looking to free Jimenez down the right hand side in space too, with a chance to deliver, but it's an awful delivery that goes all the way through and out towards the far side. But just for a moment there, right from the start, only 17 seconds gone, Kevin, and the Leeds United defence asleep.
Well, one straight ball, wasn't it? One straight ball over the top. Jimenez is in. And I tell you what, he'll be disappointed with that. He's in a really good area. He's under no pressure. He really should have put that in a danger zone.
Had a couple to aim at in the middle. Ayling coming forward now. Chips on towards Bamford on the right. Ball is cleared out by Kilman on the left side of defence at the back for Wolves here tonight. Ayling can come forward for the throw-in. Launches towards Costa and doesn't meet the intended target. Out for a throw-in. As I said at the start of the game, Helder Costa facing his former side, over 100 appearances for Wolves. What's it like, Kevin, playing against a former side? Does that give you some kind of, I mean, it's an obvious question, but is there extra incentive?
There's extra incentive, but you've got to be careful. You've got to manage your emotions. You want to obviously do so well against your former team, show them what you're all about, why you've moved higher, or why indeed you've been sold, or you didn't want to be sold and they've moved you on. There's always a reason, there's always a reason that you'd like to play well against your former team, and I'm sure Costa's no different. But you've got to be wary of trying too hard, because then it could all go wrong for you.
Semedo, the former Barcelona fullback, trying to make some progress down the right-hand side, but not being given the opportunity to do that by this Leeds defence, and the ball goes out for a throw-in close to halfway for Leeds. Leeds 0, Wolves 0, with coming up to 2 minutes gone. The rain was lashing down before kick-off. does seem to have eased off ever so slightly, which is good, because certainly wouldn't want the weather to ruin what potentially could be an incredible matchup between these two. Costa hugging the right touchline, picks up the ball on halfway.
Well, it's a lovely playing surface here at Elland Road, isn't it? Lush green grass.
Yeah, it looks wonderful, doesn't it? On the left-hand side is Leeds 22, Jack Harrison, on loan from Manchester City for the season, just as he was last season in the Championship. This is a very well settled Leeds side, and they make good progress down the right hand side. Costa's delivery is cut out by Connor Coady. Vital interception, didn't allow the ball to get into the area, but they are making some fairly good moves down this right hand side in the opening stages, Leeds United.
Yeah, good play that, wasn't it? Lovely little ball inside the fullback. They get in down the right hand side. Klich, I think it was. Good ball, good cross, and Coady deflects it out for a corner.
Be Calvin Phillips to come across to take this one, an outswinger towards Koch, who is potentially busying around, and Struijk too on the penalty spot. Calvin Phillips hesitates before looking to take this one. The England international curling in towards the front post, but he doesn't beat the first man, and it's nodded away by Kilman. Picked up here by Dallas, deep in midfield, launches forward, flicked on, leads into the area with Bamford, who skews the shot wide, didn't quite get his foot at the angle that was needed to generate any kind of problem for Ruben Patricio, and that one spins away and goes wide.
Well, I'll tell you what, it's good play again. It's a wonderful run from deep from Rodrigo. Little flick on, little flick header from Klich again, who makes a good run, and it's into Bamford. And I'll tell you what, he'll be disappointed. He's sliced that. He's better than that, Patrick Bamford.
Promising signs for Leeds, though, that combination between Rodrigo and Bamford.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Away goes Costa again down this right-hand side, and again slips past the challenge of two, but not the third. Saiss tackling back, clips Costa from behind, arguing with the referee there, but I don't think he can have too many arguments.
No, I don't think he can. Judging by all the shouting, they didn't think it was a foul, but from where we're sitting, it most certainly looked like a foul there. Good run.
Free kick is taken quickly by Phillips. He's managed to pick up Ayling in the area, but it's cut back into the box. Is intercepted by Semedo. Back out for Leeds to Klich. Flicked on by Bamford. His looping header goes straight up into the air and into the gloves of Rui Patricio.
Been a really good start, hasn't it, from the home team? Look at this. Hand on and play. Luke Ayling gets in behind, cuts it across, and again Wolves have to cut that out of the near post.
Certainly been a feature of the Premier League this season. Some lackadaisical defending, and again the Wolves defence from that free kick. Okay, it was smart thinking from Leeds, but defence of Wolves napping its basics. You face up during a free kick.
It is basics. When you walk away from a ball, I've always told my teams, never turn your back on it. If you're going to walk away from it, always walk backwards or run backwards facing the ball, because they'll put the ball down and play, good teams, and that's what Leeds did, and they're in again.
Klich this time, slipping it through the channel. Looks like he's been given something of a free roll, moving side to side across the edge of that 18-yard box, almost like Thomas Muller. Thomas Muller describes himself as a space invader rather than having a particular position, and it always makes players like that difficult to pick up. Leeds have won a corner on the far side, coming up to 6 minutes gone. Leeds 0, Wolves 0, and again plenty sent forwards, including the likes of Koch and Costa. And it comes to the edge of the penalty area, flicked on and touched in by Bamford. It's into the back of the net, but it won't count. It's a really clever corner and a wonderful idea from Leeds. Certainly looked like something they've been working on. Harrison on the edge of the box was free, and Bamford must have just drifted offside.
Yeah, it's good defending actually. I'm not so sure they would have worked on Harrison heading it back in there. Probably coming late for a volley or a shot from the edge of the box, but as it turns out, it bounced up and he needed to head it back into the danger area. But good defending from Wolves. As the ball went out, they all squeezed out as one and left Bamford in there miles offside.
Yeah, that's you spotting something that I might not have spotted. That's the professional background for you, Kevin Watson. Coming up to 7 minutes into this game, Leeds against Wolves. The ball has been in the back of the net, but Bamford was a couple of yards offside. No need for VAR in this instance. Certainly had a lot to answer for this weekend. Another big talking point in the Liverpool game, of course, in the lead up to that late Henderson goal. Harrison has dropped deep. He's being pursued. It's good pressure by Dendoncker, forcing Harrison out of play and out for a throw in midway inside Leeds territory.
Not really settled yet, Wolves, have they? It's been a very good start from the home team. First 7.5 minutes. Wolves need to settle. I'm sure they will. They're a good side. Good unit, good organised team.
Yeah, they certainly haven't looked like the Leeds, the Wolves side that potentially we saw last season. Some adjustments to make with Jota and Doherty leaving. It's a good turn away at the back by Robin Koch. Slips away from his man and moves the ball through midfield. And again, Klich is finding space on the opposite side, on the right now. Key performer for Marcelo Bielsa. In the 96 league games Bielsa's had, Klich has played in 5. Here is Costa inside the penalty area. Skillful move. He's looking for the penalty.
That's fantastic play. They could be having a look at this.
Well, for me, facing the opposite way, he spun, turned inside the area, got away from Moutinho. Moutinho lunges in, and it certainly looks like there's contact on the shoulder there. We've got a better angle here, Kevin. What do you think?
I think, having looked at it, I think Costa actually puts his leg into the Wolves player's foot. So, yeah, trying to buy it, really. That's what we'd call that.
Well, video assistant, I think, agrees with you. Leeds put the ball into the penalty area. It's another wonderful cross, this time from Ayling. Met by Rodrigo, nodded over the bar.
They've been so bright. 9 minutes in. Wolves, no match for this Leeds team at the moment, and just as we expected, Bielsa, the way he's sets his teams up, it's we're going to score more goals than you. And they look so bright, energetic, fit.
The movement is incredible, isn't it? The way that the players swap positions for a newly promoted side. I know this is nothing new if you saw Leeds in the Championship last season, but it's incredible that they're replicating that at a Premier League level and doing this against a really well-established Premier League side.
Well, I'll tell you what it is, Ad, when you're watching it. Look at their running off the ball. They're all prepared to run to create space for other players. Even if they're not going to receive it individually themselves, they will run just to create space and holes for other people to receive it. And it's so refreshing to see that, because there are a lot of selfish footballers in our game, unfortunately, who will just run for themselves. But this team is actually a team and a real breath of fresh air.
Podence having to go down under a challenge there from Calvin Phillips. He certainly felt a knock to the face, but I think that was one of those where he's gone down to stay down to potentially just disrupt the rhythm of the way that Leeds are playing, because for the opening 10 minutes they've dominated front to back. Yeah,
he's probably got a little poke in the eye there. It wasn't malicious from Calvin Phillips, but they most certainly need a breather. It's been one-way traffic, hasn't it? And Bielsa sitting on his trademark ice bucket or bin. I actually think they've made something quite unique for him. Instead of him just sitting on an ice bucket, he's got his own proper little seat now.
He only gets a paper cup of coffee, though, by the looks of things.
He probably only wants a paper. Apparently he walks down to the shops to get the Sunday papers. He doesn't drive. He just goes walking around in his tracksuit. It's brilliant. Brilliant to see.
Well, I may have been a bit harsh on Podence and said that he'd gone down on purpose, because there's clearly blood streaming from somewhere. He has blood right the way across his thumb. I think he's got a bleeding nose, so maybe there was more contact than we realised at the time.
Yeah, again, I don't think it's malicious. Players run, don't they? They run with their arms out. I don't think it was an elbow. I think it was just a stray hand, perhaps a finger across the nose. Doesn't take a lot of contact on the face or the nose for it to bleed. I'm sure we'll get to see it again and see the extent of what it was.
I've seen a couple of times in this game already that maybe the defensive qualities of both teams have been slightly lacking. Why do you think that's such a feature in the Premier League at the moment? What do you think that's down to?
I was looking at the goals against while we was on a break, and apart from Aston Villa, everyone's letting in nearly 2 goals a game. It's really quite bizarre to see. You know, Everton played 5 and only conceded 7, but Liverpool played 5, conceded 13. That's more than 2 a game. Leicester played 5, conceded 8, nearly 2 a game. Yeah, I think teams now, the art of defending, I think, has gone out of the game. When you look at the Villa-Liverpool game a couple of weeks ago, which it could have been 10. You know, Liverpool had chances as well, but defending seems to have gone out the window. I'm not so sure whether, you know, the lack of a crowd being in and the intensity of the games has not been as high, and the defending and the closing down is not as prevalent as it would be if you've got a home crowd on you trying to tell you to get into people's faces, and the atmosphere and the adrenaline. I think it does play a part.
It's been like watching games of FIFA.
It has. It has, yeah. It's just like you attack. They've been like basketball matches. You attack, we attack. You know.
I'm sure that the heads of the Premier League don't mind. I certainly haven't minded as a fan of the Premier League. That's a careless pass back from Leeds. Rodrigo sending it way back into his own half. Lucky to see that recovered by his teammates. And Meslier, the keeper, will chip out towards the right-hand side. Leeds, as they like to do, passing out from the back. Ayling shifted in field and gets it back as he moves into midfield to Rodrigo, trying to slip it through the channel towards Bamford. Coady recovers after a heavy first touch, slides in, sends the ball away. The Wolves now look to break down their right-hand side. They won't get the opportunity to do that. Solid defending from Leeds United. Carried away at the back by Koch, who likes to spend time in possession. Ball carrying centre back, moves it across towards the left. He found Harrison. Rodrigo moving around, shifting it back to Calvin Phillips. Long crossfield ball, picks up the chest of Ayling on the right. They play some lovely football, Leeds. Beautiful to watch. It's
not just that, it's the tempo that they play at. You know, a lot of teams, it's pass, and, you know, all done at a slow tempo, don't really go anywhere. But it's so crisp and sharp what Leeds do, and it's so refreshing to watch, isn't it? And, you know, they continue to play like this for the whole season. I'm not saying they're going to win the Premier League by any stretch of the imagination, but with it being wide open, you wouldn't put it past them finishing in the top 6.
Luke Ayling lunging in as he chested the ball down. Got to the challenge slightly late and has received a yellow card for his troubles, and Wolves receive a free kick on the edge of the penalty area. But as of yet, Wolves 15 minutes into this game really struggling to get into the competition.
Well, they had an attack after 16 seconds that Raul Jimenez crossed it wide and high behind the goal, but following that they've barely laid a glove on Leeds.
Really looks like, from Wolves' perspective, they need somebody to come in and grab this game by the scruff of the neck.
They just need a bit of possession at the moment.
Yeah, they've made some progress down the left-hand side. Saiss has come forward to take a throw-in midway inside Leeds half. Throws it short to Neto, who comes scuttling across. Turns into trouble. Instantly there are two white shirts there. Costa one of those, and then sliding in to help out is Dallas. Dallas sends away and up towards Bamford, looking for the give and go with Rodrigo. He slips it back though to Klich. Fine ball over the top to Bamford, who's giving chase. Can he keep the ball in play? Yes, he can. Cuts it back into the area. Picks out Rodrigo, waiting for support. It comes in the shape of Costa, who drags it wide. Fantastic build-up again from Leeds.
Well, they get a lot of plaudits, and they have had a lot of plaudits. But again, look how quick that play is. Bamford down the right, doesn't hesitate, puts the ball in a danger area. Good touch, little set. It's rolled back. Costa slightly drags the shot. But Wolves not laying a glove on Leeds at the moment. It's literally one-way traffic. You feel that Leeds, sooner rather than later, will hit the back of that Wolves net.
The one thing you would say about Leeds is they're a team, aren't they? They really play for each other.
It's you know, you keep saying it, but it's so good to watch. And it's because of the tempo they play at as well.
Meslier's giving the ball away. The goalkeeper lucky to see a poor pass come forward from Dondonka. And Meslier gets it back. The young goalkeeper can shift up towards halfway, but that's really the only way at the moment you can see Wolves getting into this game is a big error from Leeds. And, well, they haven't been amazing at the back this season. They haven't conceded a shot on goal in this game, but coming into this one, they'd conceded 73 shots in the Premier League, which was the most going into the weekend. Hasn't really been a chance for Wolves to get anywhere near their 18-yard box in the first period so far.
This is better. Just keep hold of the ball. 20, 30 seconds. Get a few passes in. Just settle them into the game a bit.
Kilman for Wolves on the left-hand side of defence. Now Saiss. Somebody has had that word that they do just need to keep possession. They have allowed the home side to dominate. They've really been under the cosh in the opening stages of this match. Here is Saiss. Slips it back towards Coady. And then Willy Boly to the right hand side of him, and again Leeds continue to press at a real speed. Rodrigo very nearly taking the ball away from Boly there. Kilman can drift forward. Terrible pass through the channel, and it goes all the way through to goalkeeper Meslier.
Yeah, good shout there, Ed. That was a terrible pass. Didn't need to be that heavy, didn't need to be that straight. Play it on an angle, give your forward a chance to run after it.
Centre of the pitch, dominating that area is Phillips. Moves the ball on towards Klich, shifting left to right, this time on the right hand side. Ayling's through ball into the area towards Costa, intercepted, and Kilman wins a throw in down by the corner flag, pursued by Costa, and now Leeds will try to pen Wolves in down by the corner flag. They're the hardest working team in the Premier League so far this season, Leeds, in terms of distance covered. A couple of kilometres more than anyone else, and you can certainly see the evidence of that so far tonight.
You can already see it. You can already see it. The way they hunt, the way they press, the way they get after the ball together as a team. There are no lost causes with this team at all.
Giving the ball away on the halfway line here, but Phillips is back there to recover. Just dropped in to cover Dallas, who'd moved forwards on the left-hand side. Quite often has to do that, as Leeds like to send their fullbacks forwards. Interesting case, Stuart Dallas wasn't always a wing-back, was a midfielder before Bielsa came in, but he's really shone under Bielsa in those wide areas. Can't imagine there are too many players who don't have excellent things to say about the coaching of Marcelo Bielsa.
I think they've all shone under him, haven't they? They really have.
Might have a few complaints about some of those training sessions. Don't like the sound of that murder ball.
Well, you need to be fit. If you're going to play like this, you have to be fit. Forget ability. You've got to be able to run and then run again, to be able to play this high tempo pressing game, high tempo with the ball, high tempo without the ball, all based around fitness, almost like a Liverpool style thing.
Murder ball, if you don't know, means that the ball never goes out of play when you're playing. That's a game that Bielsa often plays in training. It's been stolen by a few coaches. Jimenez having to drop deep to play the ball back to Coady, and now shift it all the way back to Patricio. Launches forward towards halfway. Leeds 0, Wolves 0, with 20 minutes of the first half played. So first half that's been dominated by Leeds. They've had a couple of promising chances. In particular, Patrick Bamford was in a good area but skewed one wide, and also Rodrigo inside the penalty area with a header which he sent powerfully over the top. They've been knocking on the door. They look like the sides who are much more organised and adept for winning this one, but Wolves very much still in this. No goals as of yet.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. They'll hang in there, Wolves. They'll stay in the game. Eventually it will settle and they will come into it. You'd think they'd get chances. Can't stay this one-sided for the whole game, you wouldn't have thought.
Leeds have the ball at the back with Robin Koch. He shifts out towards the right, finds Ayling, who's instantly looking to get on his bike with a give and go towards the feet of Rodrigo. Rodrigo couldn't get to the pass. Wolves managing to snap in, but now Leeds will try something down the opposite flank, and away goes Harrison. Now Dallas and Klich combining to great effect, but Semedo gets in the way of Dallas. Just manages to win the ball, sends away, but it doesn't go very far. Leeds don't allow the ball out of Wolves' half.
It's unbelievable, isn't it? Tempo this game's being played at. I say the tempo this game's being played at. Tempo that Leeds are playing at. This opening 22 minutes is as good as I've seen in the Premier League this season.
Yeah, you just look at Leeds' squad and you wonder whether they've maybe got the depth to be able to sustain this over the course of the season. But based on this 11 players, there's certainly a match for most sides in the top half of the table based on tonight's performance.
Easily. But like you say, have they got the strength in depth? It remains to be seen. You wouldn't have thought that they can go through the whole season without injuries to key players, and then you will have to see what happens if and when that does happen. But based on what I'm watching here and the tempo that they're playing at, joy to watch.
Obviously had that problem in the Championship season before last where they did seem to run out of steam, and has been a question mark over Bielsa's sides. Demands so much from his players. Maybe they learnt their lesson in the Championship and maybe they're geared up for a full season at full pelt. That's certainly what you get from Leeds, and that's certainly what we've seen here tonight. Semedo nearly gave the ball away on the right hand side, just outside of his own penalty area, but he managed to recover and has won a free kick. And Wolves have just managed over the past 2 or 3 minutes to disrupt the rhythm of this Leeds side a bit.
Yeah, just a little bit. Just a little bit. But as I say, the opening 20 minutes been dominated by the home team. But you're right, they've stifled Leeds a little bit the last couple of minutes.
Someone's just sent a tweet through to TalkSport Live saying, I hope we see some goals in this game and it's not a boring game like the first one we heard about this evening.
Well, certainly not boring.
No. I'd like to see some goals though.
We'd like to see some goals, yeah. The only thing missing at the moment.
24 gone, Leeds 0, Wolves 0, and it's a Leeds goal kick. It's taken short to Koch, shifted into the feet of Calvin Phillips, who's just marshalling that central area front of the back four. Late change in the lineup. Pascal Struijk, who's only 21, left hand side of defence, came in for Liam Cooper, who we thought before the start of this game might be carrying an injury. And well, he came into the starting 11, was in the lineup, but then at the last minute was pulled out. Not too much of a test so far for the young Leeds centre-back. Ayling arrows the ball forward. The target was Bamford, but Semedo comes across, slightly misplaced the pass. Came in behind Bamford, and well, it's sent away by Semedo. But Wolves have conceded a free kick on the left-hand side, a shove in the back of Stuart Dallas.
Again, it's just Dallas being quicker to the ball. Semedo does extremely well. The Wolves fullback tries to play it out. Dallas reads it, gets in front of his man, and wins a free kick for his team in a dangerous area.
Yeah, Calvin Phillips has gone over to take this one. It's on the left flank as Leeds look at things. Certainly within touching distance of the Premier League for a player like Phillips, who whips the delivery into the edge of the 6-yard box. Struijk was there, but he wouldn't get to the header. And now the break might be on for Wolves. For the first time in a while, they break into Leeds half, and away comes Pedro Neto. Cuts back into the area. Well, he got away from his man, but the white shirts raced back in numbers, smothered the ball. It was Ayling who got there and did superbly well to make that recovery, given the space that Neto had found himself in, touched the ball away and won the free kick.
Look at the players sprinting back for Leeds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 all in shot when Ayling wins that ball back. Neto breaks brilliantly down the right hand side. He should cross it once he gets half a yard and he gets in down there, but he chooses to check back. But I put a tweet out, I think about a year ago, of Leeds players recovering after losing the ball, and it was very much like that. You know, 8 of them after their free kick was cleared in their own half again, in their own penalty box, trying to defend and protect their goal. Just brilliant stuff.
Raul Jimenez slightly frustrated there with Pedro Neto that he didn't receive the ball earlier, was in space at the back of the penalty area.
Oh, he should have crossed it, without a doubt should have crossed it, Neto. There was no need to check back.
Here is Harrison on the left for Leeds. Looks to have won a corner. No, says the referee. And it goes all the way through, out for a goal kick. Frustration there from Harrison, but the referee not interested in any way whatsoever. 27 minutes on the clock now. Leeds 0, Wolves 0. What do you think is Leeds' best chance of getting something from this game, Kevin? How would you play things?
Leeds at the moment will be quite content with the way they're playing. I think end product once they get in and around the Wolves box. Wolves are just seeing out this period of Leeds pressure, which has been pretty intense for the first 27 minutes. Relying very much on breakaways, of which they've only had that one just now with Neto. But Wolves will just be trying to hang in there at the minute. But Leeds, for all their possession, only had a couple of real half chances, haven't they?
They have. They haven't really troubled Patricio all that much. They have already this season had to grind out a result against Sheffield United. Left that one late. Bamford with that header late in the game. So they're not averse to games like this. As Raul Jimenez stumbles through towards the penalty area, couldn't bring the ball under control. Leeds can bring the ball away, only as far as Semedo. Touches on towards Jimenez, being shoved and tugged from behind by Struijk. It's moved out towards the right. Neto again has the ball in a good area. Again the cross blocked. Dallas not giving him any change whatsoever, and there's a big challenge between Bamford then Donker, and the ball goes out for a throw-in on the far side.
You just sense Wolves are easing themselves into the game now, don't you? The last 4 or 5 minutes they've had that Neto break down the right hand side, just had a prolonged spell of the ball there, a little bit of pressure, holding on to it, forcing Leeds back for the first time in this game.
Bizarrely, in the opening 29 minutes, Wolves have felt like the newly promoted side.
Yeah, they have, yeah.
As you say, Leeds don't have anything as of yet to show in this game for their performance. Although for a newly promoted team to be 0-0 with Wolves after 29 minutes perhaps is an achievement in itself. It's just, given the way that they've played, maybe they would have hoped to have been on the score sheet. Phillips squares a pass out towards Dallas on the left. Now here is Harrison, right on the left side touchline, looking to attack the fullback Semedo. Decides to cut back against Dallas, doesn't fancy his chances up against the former Barcelona man. Nice combination though between Harrison and Dallas. They make their way up to the edge of the penalty area. Move it wide towards Klich. Rolls back into midfield to Phillips. Wolves can't get near the ball. Phillips crossfield ball to the head of Costa, nodded into the danger zone and turned away by Kilman.
Fabulous crossfield pass from Calvin Phillips. He's done that a couple of times already. Straight to Costa. Great ball.
Ayling to the edge of the penalty area, where Rodrigo waits, looking for the give and go with Ayling. Ayling elects to cross to the far post. Bamford the target, just glanced away by Boly. Now here is Harrison. Harrison moving back towards Klich. Now Harrison again on the left hand side, looking to cross into the area, edge of the 6-yard box towards Bamford, comes out to Ayling, who volleys goalwards, cleared away by Kilman inside the 6-yard box. A vital block, was certainly heading down towards that bottom corner.
Good strike from Ayling, wasn't it? Good block, but the pressure intensifying again now from Leeds.
Yeah, Leeds come again instantly, and it's Phillips, the orchestrator in the middle, just has the ability and the habit of finding players in space with these angled balls. It's Ayling this time with a cross, picked out Rodrigo, didn't get the connection that he was looking for on the header, and it goes wide.
Again, Ayling finding himself in a lot of space. Unselfish run from Costa to take the defender away. Good ball from Luke Ayling. Danger zone yet again. Poor header from Rodrigo though.
Yeah, the cross was ever so slightly behind Rodrigo, but you feel that he could have adjusted his body to at least hit the target there.
Yeah, he could have done better. He could have done better, I agree. Slightly behind him.
Hasn't had that many games for Leeds, so perhaps still adapting to the pace of this Leeds team and the pace of the Premier League, but more so the Leeds team, given the way that they've played here tonight. But he's an experienced campaigner, lots of time spent in La Liga at the highest level, so playing for a club like Valencia, maybe would expect more, especially given the price tag as well that he's come in with, £27 million this summer from Valencia.
Yeah, a lot of money, isn't it? He'll be fine though under Bielsa.
It's not that much money in the Premier League these days, but certainly it's a lot of money for Leeds to be spending. Klich moves the ball wide, picks out Dallas, and now Harrison again. Used the wide areas ever so well. Semedo makes a block, and then Boly can flick the header away inside his own penalty area, but only succeeds in giving the ball back to Leeds. Now they'll try to find some space on the right hand side. Relentless pressure from Leeds over the past 5 minutes. Here is Rodrigo dropping into a pocket of space just in front of the back four. One of those awkward players to mark, who finds the spots in between defence and midfield. Wolves have won the ball back. Kilman clears up to halfway. Doesn't stick though when it finds Raul Jimenez. He's lucky to get the ball back. Phillips has given the ball away. Now a chance for the first time in the game for Podence to roll in towards Moutinho. Now Dendonka. They're making their way towards the Leeds penalty area, having to be patient though because Leeds have got plenty back behind the ball. Away goes Neto, goes around the outside of Dallas, does well to get to the byline, gets the cross away, and it's blocked by Struijk, and away it goes for a corner.
Good play from Neto. Dallas needs to do better there though. Faces him up, little step over, gets onto his right foot. This time he does try and cross it. Good defending from Struijk.
Fabulous strength there from Neto, much smaller than Dallas, but shoved his way past to get to the byline to win this corner for Wolves. It's 0-0 here. Haven't been many occasions when Wolves have found themselves in an advanced area, but there's a chance here to punish Leeds potentially. Players queuing up like a train close to the penalty spot. 5 burgundy shirts, each holding each other's waists and waiting for the corner.
They'll fan out, go in different areas now.
Moutinho's ball into the front post is met by Jimenez, brilliantly sprinting across to get there, but he thumps the volley hard and way over the top.
Well, he needs to do better. Ayling just switches off for a second, and Bamford, the man in the near post hole, needs to see that run as well. He gets away from Ayling, but that's into Bamford's area, and he needs to defend that better. Great run from Raul Jimenez though, and he'll be disappointed that he doesn't hit the target from that position.
How will Leeds respond to that? Will that be the moment maybe that galvanises Wolves ever so slightly, who've struggled in this game? 35 gone, Leeds 0, Wolves 0. It's a good chance for Raul Jimenez, and if there was a man that Wolves would have liked to have picked up the ball in that position inside the area from the corner, it would have been Jimenez.
Oh, he's so bright, isn't he? It's a great little run to the near post.
Such a consistent performer, Raul Jimenez. I don't mean this is a discredit to Wolves, but I was surprised that he stayed with the club over the summer. Just strikes me as a player that would do well for one of the top teams.
Well, he's certainly got the quality, hasn't he?
Phillips with a challenge in the centre of the park, which has been penalised by the referee, and there will be a free kick for Coady, 10 yards from halfway. Sends it forwards, and it's an easy one for the Leeds defence to deal with, and it's just flicked back by Ruben Koch on his head towards Meslier, the keeper. Brought forward on the right by Ayling, close to halfway, being pushed back by the Wolves press. Quite comfortable though to shift the ball around in triangles. Leeds players drop around to support each other, and they move the ball towards the opposite side. If one side doesn't work, we'll try the other. Here is Harrison carrying forward out towards Rodrigo. Deep ball into the penalty area, looking to pick out Bamford, and he very nearly did. Kilman with the glancing header to turn away, only as far as Ayling. Edge of the penalty area, here is Klich. busying around, searching for an opening. Ayling continues his run into the box. Now Phillips swept over towards the left-hand side, volleyed across the face of goal, and Bamford in the middle couldn't quite connect to turn away, and it's Coady who gets a vital touch, and it's out for a corner.
Brilliant defending, Connor Coady. Luke Ayling in there. He's onside Bamford. Coady gets back. Brilliant. Great ball from Phillips to the back post. Just clips it in there. Brilliant strike. Is it Costa? Oh, great defending, because Bamford's just about to put that in.
There have been a number of occasions like that in the first half where Bamford has nearly been in, only for the Wolves defence to be in the right place at the right time. And credit to them, their positional play in this game so far has had to be good, and it has been good as well. Yeah,
defensively they have been good, but they've had to be, because Leeds have put them under intense pressure. That was actually given offside, so it wouldn't have counted anyway, but still brilliant defending from Coady.
Moutinho is penalised inside Leeds half for a handball decision, and Leeds will look to take this free kick quickly. Just seen that Gareth Southgate is sat watching this one here tonight. A couple of England players on his radar in Phillips and Connor Coady.
Phillips has already been outstanding, hasn't he? He's running the game, he's dictating the game.
Rodrigo again slipping into those spaces, moving it wide. Dallas pursues the ball on the left, crosses low, but it's turned away by Willy Boly on the edge of the 6-yard box, puts out for a throw-in.
Fabulous ball into the front man from Ruben Koch there. Real daisy cutter, drilled it across this zippy surface. 35-yard pass.
Harrison wants it back from Dallas on the left, but he slips it into Klich, left-hand side of the box. Now Harrison. Delivery is blocked, this time by Moutinho. Harrison continues his run and does well to win a corner.
Pushing again, Leeds.
Both sides of the field, they're strong. There's not one particular area where you would say Leeds are stronger than the other. They look like they could cause damage down the right and the left flank. This time they're on the left-hand side with a corner that Phillips will take. Another in-swinger. And there are again plenty of white shirts waiting. It's Harrison on the edge of the box who receives it. He's unmarked, and it deflects away for a corner, but I don't understand why he's unmarked. We've already seen that routine before.
Well, it's the second time, isn't it? And there's no excuse. Wolves have everybody back.
Another corner kick for Phillips. This one into the 6-yard box. Comes to the far post. Rodrigo free. Hammers it goalwards on the half volley, but it's straight into the gloves of Rui Patricio.
Well, he's hit it really well, isn't he? Great ball. Danger area. All the way out the back. Good strike. Unfortunately for Leeds, from Rodrigo. Straight at the keeper. Patricio. And the scores stay level, but for how long, based on the way this game's going, remains to be seen.
Well, he was wonderful in the game against Manchester City, made a real difference when he came on, Rodrigo. When the ball dropped to him there, you thought, this is Leeds' moment, this is the goal that they've come so close to scoring in the first period, this is the goal that they've worked for. It wasn't the connection that he was looking for, and Leeds have to try again. 5 minutes to go until half-time. It's Phillips on the halfway line, who decides to move it backwards, and now on the right-hand side of defence it's Koch. Koch has Bamford spinning and looking for the ball over the top, but he didn't spot the run. He moves it out towards Ayling on the right-hand side, who cuts in and steps away from Neto. Moved into midfield to Phillips. Phillips back out to the right-hand side where he's found Costa. Has the opportunity to run at the defender. It's actually Neto who's pegged all the way back on that left-hand side. It's only really Raul Jimenez who's not back behind the ball, who's not got work to do. Here is Dallas in towards Phillips, in space in midfield, chipped out towards the left-hand side. Here is Klich, who's peeled out towards that left. Just waiting patiently for their moment. Leeds. Phillips ball into the area. Bamford was free, but again Kilman has to step across to nod away. Ayling rolls all the way back to halfway. This is a bit like watching Leeds when they were in the Championship, where they're dominating the ball and they're having to pick the spaces between against the side who've decided to sit deep. Another Leeds cross into the penalty area. from Harrison, cut out this time by Semedo, but they've given the ball away again, Wolves. It's careless on the edge of their own penalty area.
Well, I've been so impressed with Leeds and how patient they've been. They're not just throwing the ball in willy-nilly into that Wolves area. They're moving it, they're shifting it, they're running off the ball, they're going from left to right, right to left till there's an opportunity.
Costa into the penalty area, Klich with a touch out to Ayling, digs the cross out but couldn't quite wrap his foot around the ball to keep that one in play, and it goes out for a goal kick. But Leeds certainly before half time are looking to punish Wolves.
Well, they must have had the ball 2-3 minutes there, which is a long time to have the football without giving it away. Luke Ayling eventually, ball slightly behind him, tries to dig the cross out, crosses it behind the goal, but so patient in their build-up, Leeds. And I know we were saying before the game that it was more likely Coady had a better chance of breaking into England's back 3 or 4 than Phillips did of breaking into the England midfield, but based on what I'm seeing, I'm pretty sure that Gareth Southgate will be suitably impressed with Phillips' contribution to this game. He's been outstanding.
Yeah, as it stands, you think potentially Calvin Phillips might be at what you might consider to be an unfashionable club as far as England's selection is concerned. He's certainly not at a side that we would consider to be a top 6 team, but based on the performance here tonight from Leeds, potentially they will be a top 6 side. Maybe they will be one of those fashionable teams come the end of the season, and I completely agree. Calvin Phillips, well, he's just oozed class in the middle.
I think Gareth Southgate can't be... I would like to think he won't be that blinkered to go with fashionable players at fashionable clubs. You pick the best players at the moment, him and Grealish. Even though they're not the fashionable clubs or the top clubs at the minute that you'd say, they need to play. They've got to be. They're our best players. They should be in our best 11 for me.
Grealish was superb again last night. It looks like that player that England have been crying out for such a long time, a playmaker.
Well, I watched these highlights from the game last night. Unbelievable performance.
Neto away down the left-hand side for Wolves here. Just before half-time, a minute to go until we get the half-time whistle. Leeds have pushed Neto all the way back towards the halfway line, though. It's a superb press. It's brilliant from Luke Ayling. And then Moutinho is brought to the ground on the left-hand side, and it's a free kick for Wolves. And Wolves, you would think, might send some players forward with a free kick before half-time, but they look absolutely shattered and nobody has moved beyond the ball.
I was just about to say, look, they're taking their time with this free kick. Even though we're right at the end of the first half, they're trying to buy a little bit of time because they've been run off their feet this first half.
Well, it's interesting, I mentioned before the start of this game the Raheem Sterling interview after the Manchester City game just before the international break, and he looked shattered at the end of that game. Leeds really took the game to them, and they're doing the same here again tonight. Deep delivery from Neto into the penalty area, punched away by Meslier, who was challenged in the process of punching away and wins a free kick.
Great keeping that.
Punch, wasn't it?
Made a decision. I'm coming for it. Come for it. Knows he's going to get clattered. Didn't bother him. Good punch. Gets the foul.
We'll get 2 minutes of additional time in the first period. Side 15 seconds into half-time. A minute to go until we get the half-time whistle. Leeds has the ball, pushed the right. Neto all the way back towards the halfway line, though. It's a superb press on the right, motoring down towards a corner flag. Big challenge from Kilman sliding across, and he concedes a corner kick just before the half-time whistle.
Well, there's that willing run again. That's a ball that Ayling can't play unless he has willing runners in front of him. And what a run from Costa. All of a sudden, defence into attack, and they get a corner.
And Leeds again busying around in the penalty area, plenty of white shirts in there, delivered in by Phillips, comes all the way through to the back of the box. In truth, wasn't the best of deliveries. Costa will recover, send towards Harrison, who's been impressive in the first period, but you could say every player has been impressive for Leeds in the first period, really.
You certainly can. It's just the tempo they're playing at, and they are a team. They all know their jobs, they all know what they're doing.
Klich has picked up the ball in midfield, dispossessed by Moutinho. Bobbles around eventually. Semedo pokes back towards Willy Boly. And then Dendoncker to Connor Coady, camped out on the edge of his own penalty area. Touched on and out to the right hand side by Podence. Looking for the give and go will be Dendoncker though, who latches onto the ball. He's into the Leeds penalty area now. It's forced wide. Chips to the back of the box. Saiss is there. Might be a chance for Podence just before half time. And is palmed away by Meslier, who at the second attempt dives on the top of the ball. It looked like they had a really good opportunity there. Podence found the space inside the penalty area, got the shot away either side of the goalkeeper. Could have been a different story. But it was saved by Meslier just before half time.
Well, best chance of the game. 47 minutes in, they've been dominated, Wolves, but it's brilliant play, great touch from the pullback. Unfortunately though for Wolves, it's straight at the keeper, but that's better. Right at the end of the first half, that will give Wolves some hope.
Well, you may have heard it there, you may not, underneath the excitement, but that was the half-time whistle in this game. Leeds have been the far superior side in the opening 45. But right at the end of the half, Wolves showed that on the break they could well punish Leeds for not making the most of their dominance. Half-time, surprisingly, in this game, it's Leeds United 0, Wolves 0. You're listening to Premier League Live.
Evenings with James Whale on Talk Radio. Keep connected with round-the-clock news, essential information and expert insight.
I think we've got to be very careful about the way this has all been going on.
Cutting through the confusion with everything you need to stay safe, informed and entertained.
Everyone's going on about, we should be tracking and testing, and I just don't know how that is going to happen.
Evenings with James Whale. Weeknights from 7 on Talk Radio.
In a world of 24/7 global sportscasting and instant news infotainment, one man bestrides the airwaves like a snow-capped Caledonian colossus.
Hello, I'm Jim White.
Jim White, anchorman.
Mid-morning news team, assemble.
Jim White and Natalie Sawyer, the #1 rated news source for breaking sports stories, big-name guests, and liquid showbiz charisma.
Great Odin's Raven. That's quite a transfer.
There's nothing burgundy about Jim White. Tomorrow morning from 10 on TalkSport.
In the spring of the year 2020 AD, a deadly enemy rages like a torrent of fire between the ends of empire.
My name is Maximus Talksportus Pandemicus, gladiator of the sports radio. Gird up your loins and battle the invasion of COVID-19, because what you do today will echo in eternity.
TalkSport Legion, assume tortoise formation against COVID-19.
Show this virus no mercy by keeping a distance of at least 2 meters at all times. That's 6.75 Roman feet centurions. Together, Legion, TalkSportus can defeat it.
TalkSportus Maximus.
On my signal, unleash hand sanitizer.
Keep it on, stay informed, and give coronavirus the red cardus.
Are you not hand sanitized?
20 years of TalkSport.
Gentlemen, good evening.
There's no such thing as an overnight success.
Accrington Stanley 4, titanium plasmatronic death droids from the future, 0.
Excess.
I wasn't getting up, I was just getting in.
Excitement.
Excuse me,
and extremely strong opinions.
I spend my life covering the big game at the big level.
On DAB, medium wave, and on your smart speaker. 20 years of TalkSport.
For all the latest news, opinions and advice, listen to Talk Radio throughout the day and stay informed as events unfold.
We're now in a position to start implementing the next part of our plan.
Find out what's happening now and what may happen next, all day, every day.
If the government gets to grips with the plan, then surely we will be able to see light at the end of the tunnel.
Listen now on DAB Digital Radio, online, via the Talk Radio app, or ask your smart speaker to play Talk Radio.
Well, I said before the start of this game, if this evening's game is anything like yesterday's action, we're in for a treat. It has been a treat to see Leeds in action, but we haven't had any goals in the first period, surprisingly. Here are the highlights of the first half. corner kick for Phillips. This one into the 6-yard box, comes to the far post. Rodrigo free, hammers it goalwards on the half volley, but it's straight into the gloves of Rui Patricio.
Well, he's hit it really well, isn't he? Great ball, danger area, all the way out the back. Good strike. Fortunately for Leeds, from Rodrigo. Straight at the keeper, Patricio, and the scores stay level, but for how long, based on the way this game's going, remains to be seen.
Top scrolling out to the right hand side by Podence, looking for the give and go will be Dendoncker though, who latches onto the ball. He's into the Leeds penalty area now, it's forced wide, chips to the back of the box. Saiss is there, might be a chance for Podence just before half time, and is palmed away by Meslier, who at the second attempt dives on the top of the ball. It looked like they had a really good opportunity there. Podence found the space inside the penalty area, got the shot away either side of the goalkeeper. Could have been a different story. It was saved by Meslier just before half time. So half time at Elland Road, Leeds 0, Wolves 0. We'll join you back for the second period very shortly. It's not the only Premier League game that we've had in action today. Also earlier on, we featured West Brom against Burnley. Here are the highlights of that game with Toby Gillies and Dave Kitson.
Here's McNeil with the delivery, bending deep and away towards the back post. That was a push in the box. That's surely a penalty. It's come out to the far side. There's the header on goal. Might drop into the box. For Barnes it does, and it's pushed away by Johnston. Now surely the VAR...
The VAR's going to have a look at this, surely.
Have a look at that. That was a clear push.
Surely.
Well, I don't know what Darren England's doing, the VAR today, but he's not told Anthony Taylor to even have a look at it himself. They've just had a corner. They've completely wasted it. West Brom come away, and I still think Burnley should have had a penalty. Maybe a chance for Dian Garner to chase from the pass out the left-hand side now. Gets on his bike. He's got Krovinovic outside of him. Instead into Grant, and there is the opening goal, and the offside flag is up.
Yeah, he did look offside.
Now Krovinovic back to Pereira. Slips in Dian Garner down by the byline. Nice trick. Dian Garner drilled in, surely. Absolutely smashed towards goal by Ivanovic. How has it stayed out? Back in it goes. Half cleared by Pope. Ivanovic goes in. Extraordinary melee in the box, and somehow it's gone behind. This might be a chance. Headed towards goal. Hit the bar. Cross from the right hand side. It found Wood, and he's smashed it with his head onto the top of the crossbar and over. Tip back in towards McNeil, and he's found Barnes. Oh goodness me. Good save by Johnston, but it came straight back at Wood, who adjusted as well as he could, but once again he can only head it onto the top of the bar and over.
So 0-0 between West Brom and Burnley. First points of the season for both teams, so good news on that front. Certainly an improvement as far as both Burnley and West Brom are concerned at the back. After the game we spoke with both managers. First, Slaven Bilic.
I wouldn't take a point before a game, but look, I think we've done enough to score a goal. We created chances, we had possession, we were very active. Also, to be fair, they had 2 or 3 chances, and draw is a probably fair result. But the most important thing for us is that the boys gave everything, and if you add on top of that clean sheet, some new faces that made that debut in the Premier League, not only for West Brom, that the whole package makes me really positive.
There's not a defining moment when you change things around. Sometimes there is, but in this occasion I don't think we're a million miles away. We've had injuries that have stretched us. You can see tonight we're getting them back now. We're getting players back. Johan will benefit from the minutes he got tonight. Barnes will benefit once again. Been out a long time. We've got other players back at the training ground who will get fit. So we're coming back to the squad that we know, and I thought there were signs of the performance of the team that we know. We've got to keep building though, don't get me wrong. People, the Premier League is a very, very tough place. It gives you nothing. So we can't just say, okay, we've done pretty well tonight. We've got to move on from that, and we've got to keep building. And we've got tough games coming up, but you've got to play more.
I was going to say, you've got Sean Dyche and Slaven Bilic there after the 0-0 game earlier on between West Brom and Burnley. Sean Dyche saying that Burnley are getting back to the squad that he knows. Certainly that's a result that we know from Burnley. Very strong at the back last season, and they don't sound as though they are a million miles away. For Slaven Bilic, it's a good first point in the Premier League and a good building block. Let's get back to our game here, and just briefly before we look to get back to the second period. Kevin Watson joining me for the game here tonight. We talked a lot about Leeds and how impressive they were in the opening period. What do they need to do in the second half to try to get onto the score sheet?
I think Leeds, it will be very much as you were. I'm not so sure Wolves will continue in the same vein. You can't defend like they have and not concede for 90 minutes, that's for sure. And they've got away with one because Leeds were excellent in that first half. I don't think it'll be too long before you see the likes of Traore and Neves perhaps. Good footballers, more of an attacking threat on the pitch for Wolves. But for Bielsa's Leeds, they've been excellent, and all they've been lacking is a goal.
Yeah, I don't think it's only Wolves who'd be looking to the bench, although I think you're right that it wouldn't be too long before we'll be seeing Ruben Neves, because Calvin Phillips has dominated in that midfield area, and Traore always a threat down the right-hand side. But also Leeds with Pablo Hernandez back on the bench tonight.
Yeah, well, if they need a goal, obviously they'll be on sooner rather than later as well. I think this is one Bielsa will be targeting. Well, he targets every game as a win, but he's got something to work with at half-time, hasn't he? His team have been excellent. They've moved the ball so quickly, so accurately. Runners from midfield, Rodrigo, Klich's been absolutely excellent, in the middle of the park. Boundless energy, and they've got a lot of quality too. So all Leeds are missing is a goal, and Wolves need to do a little bit better.
We'll join you back for the second half of Leeds against Wolves shortly. You are listening to Premier League Live.
Evenings with James Whale on Talk Radio. Keep connected with round-the-clock news, essential information and expert insight.
I think we've got to be very careful about the way this has all been going on.
Cutting through the confusion with everything you need to stay safe, informed and entertained.
Everyone's going on about, we should be tracking and testing, and I just don't know how that is going to happen.
Evenings with James Whale, weeknights from 7 on Talk Radio.
In a world of 24/7 global sportscasting and instant news infotainment, one man bestrides the airwaves like a snow-capped Caledonian colossus.
Hello, I'm Jim White.
Jim White, anchorman.
Mid-morning news team, assemble.
Jim White and Natalie Sawyer, the #1 rated news source for breaking sports stories, big name guests, and liquid showbiz charisma.
Great Odin's Raven, that's quite a transfer.
There's nothing burgundy about Jim White. Tomorrow morning from 10 on Talk Sport.
In the spring of the year 2020 AD, a deadly enemy rages like a torrent of fire between the ends of empire.
My name is Maximus Talk Sportus Pandemicus, gladiator of the sports radio. Gird up your loins and battle the invasion of COVID-19, because what you do today will echo in eternity.
Talk Sport Legion, assume tortoise formation against COVID-19.
Show this virus no mercy by keeping a distance of at least 2 meters at all times. That's 6.75 Roman feet centurions. Together, Legion, Talk Sportus can defeat it.
Talk Sportus Maximus.
On my signal, unleash hand sanitizer.
Keep it on, stay informed, and give coronavirus the red cardus.
Are you not hand sanitized?
20 years of Talk Sport.
Gentlemen, good evening.
There's no such thing as an overnight success.
Accrington Stanley 4, titanium plasmatronic death droids from the future, 0.
Excess.
Wasn't getting up, I was just getting in.
Excitement.
Excuse me,
and extremely strong opinions.
I spend my life covering the big game at the big level.
On DAB, medium wave, and on your smart speaker. 20 years of Talk Sport.
For all the latest news, opinions and advice, listen to Talk Radio throughout the day and stay informed as events unfold.
We're now in a position to start implementing the next part of our plan.
Find out what's happening now and what may happen next, all day, every day.
If the government gets to grips with the plan, then surely we will be able to see light at the end of the tunnel.
Listen now on DAB Digital Radio, online, via the Talk Radio app, or ask your smart speaker to play Talk Radio. Radio.
Welcome back. We're here for the second half from Elland Road of Leeds against Wolves. I'm your commentator Adam Inker, joined by the former Tottenham and Reading midfielder Kevin Watson. This is Premier League Live. The Wolves players are already back out onto the fields, which is almost a representation of their keenness from the first period. The Wolves players now making their way out to Leeds in white tonight and Wolves in burgundy. Be interesting to see how Wolves approach this second period, having been dominated for large parts of the first half, Kevin.
I think you're absolutely right in what you say. I mean, like I alluded to just before the break there, I'm not so sure that you can play like how Wolves have and expect not to concede in 90 minutes, 45 yes, but the way Leeds have played, if they continue in that vein, you would expect them to score, and then Wolves would have to do something different. It's unlike Wolves, really. They normally have quite a bit of the ball, don't they? But they've been completely dominated by this Leeds outfit.
It's Leeds who get us underway in the second period, kicking from my right to left. Away goes Costa out towards the right, slips it forward towards Rodrigo. Rodrigo has walked the ball out to the play, and so that gives us an opportunity to have a look at the lineups here. Don't think we've had any changes, just scanning the pitch just to see if there's any that have gone under the radar, but I don't think we've had any changes here. So Leeds lining up with Meslier in goal, Ayling, Koch and also Struijk at the back, Dallas as well, Calvin Phillips, Klich, Harrison and Costa supporting Rodrigo and Bamford in attack, and then for Wolves it's Rui Patricio, Willy Boly, Connor Coady, Max Kilman and Nelson Semedo, with Moutinho, Dendoncker, Saiss, Podence, Pedro Neto and then Jimenez in attack. It's a free kick for Wolves on the halfway line, left hand side with Moutinho behind it. Wonder how much longer he'll be on in this game. As Kevin said at the start of the first period, I can imagine that Ruben Neves might be introduced fairly shortly. Slipped forward by Moutinho into the feet of Jimenez, and now Moutinho continues his run out towards the left hand side, but he's seen out of play by Klich, and there will be a throw in on that far side for Leeds United. Good defensively again, Leeds. Certainly was a feature of the first half.
Yeah, good tracking of a run there by Klich.
Throw in will be taken here by Ayling. Doesn't have anybody short for support in the end. Rodrigo does drop in, chests the ball down, sends the ball over the top of his head. Target here is Bamford. It's Willy Boly who steps across to clear away. Scrappy few moments in this game, coming up to 47 minutes gone. Leeds 0, Wolves 0. If you missed the first half, Leeds did dominate. Wolves possibly had the best chance of the first period. Right at the end of that first half, Daniel Podence with the opportunity drove the ball straight down the throats of Meslier.
Yeah, anywhere else that goes in. It was good skill from Podence. Gained himself a yard in the box. Good strike. Straight at Meslier.
Dallas has to go backwards under pressure from Wolves, who have started brighter and snappier in the second half, and with those words they snap in to foul Phillips on halfway, and Leeds win a free kick.
Yep, just leaving his mark on him there. One touch from Phillips, and he just gets smashed from behind. Dendoncker, I think it was, and there's another foul.
Yeah, well, that's so far been the difference in the second period. A lot more aggressive from Wolves, but they are conceding free kicks, and this one in a very good area, left hand side of the penalty area, and it's Phillips who will come across to take this one.
And we know what good quality Calvin Phillips has. This will be an in-swinger with that dangerous right boot he possesses.
He's having a very good game here as well. Phillips' delivery deep to the back of the penalty area, one for Patricio to deal with, but he's an experienced campaigner, and he gathers the ball in quite comfortably, really. And it's something of a waste from Leeds.
Yeah, just a little bit too deep, wasn't it? A little bit too much height. Easy for the Wolves stopper there.
Decides to bowl out overarm to the right-hand side to Boly, instantly under pressure. And the ball is seen out. The best Boly can do is skew the clearance out close to halfway to give the ball away to Leeds. Dallas picks up close to the halfway line, plays a lovely crossfield ball, skims across the surface and out towards Ayling. Costa looking for Ayling on the overlap now. His delivery into the area, again too close to Rui Patricio at his front post. There were a couple waiting inside the penalty area, Rodrigo and Bamford lurking around. Couldn't quite find either of those two. Poor clearance away then by Rui Patricio, and that's not the kind of standard that they need at this stage from their more experienced players, giving the ball away with such ease.
No, and I'm not sure Espirito Santo will be happy with his goalkeeper there at all. They're under pressure and he's just kicking it off the pitch. They need a break. They need to get into this game, settle down again.
Can see Adama Traore warming up with purpose on the side of the field. May just be that he wants to send a signal to his manager, you think, or maybe he's been asked to go and warm up. How does that work?
Yeah, well, you generally warm up. If there's 6 or 7 subs, 5 subs, you generally warm up every 10 minutes. 3 will go out, then the other 4 will go out, even the goalkeeper. So they've got 7 subs, it will be 3, then it will be another 3. And you just generally stay warm, but I think that Traore could be on sooner rather than later anyway.
It's definitely a game changer. Podence picks up the ball from Rui Patricio, and Wolves come forwards here. Opportunity to deliver into the area towards Rui Patricio, very nearly latched onto the cross. He has recovered the ball, flicks it back behind him when maybe the simple pass to Dendoncker would have been a better ball, and it's cleared away by Costa, who scurries back to turn the ball away.
Good break from Wolves.
Here is Neto, drops into a central area, swivels out towards the right, tries to link up with Semedo. Heavy touch from him, but he has managed to retrieve the ball. He's then shoved to the ground by Harrison, and he wins a free kick in a good area for Wolves, maybe 15 yards from the penalty area of Leeds, just to Meslier's left-hand side.
Yeah, it's certainly a foul. And chance now for Wolves. I'm sure they'll settle it down again and take their time. They've done that all night with their free kicks, just to have a breather. But they'll set this one up. And this, I think you'll find, from Moutinho, will be going into the Leeds box. Got good quality.
Obvious targets would be Raul Jimenez and Saiss. Moutinho angles the run, curls the ball into the area towards Saiss. It's flicked away by Struijk, and now Leeds can break away, and Coady gets lucky, very nearly gave it to Costa, but he now plays a pass out towards the right hand side to Podence, who can attack Klich, who's in a right fullback position, cuts into the area, flicked away with the header only as far as Saiss on the volley. What a strike! What a strike! Well, it's been against the run of play in this game, but it's a super hit from Saiss to find the far corner, and Wolves lead against Leeds 1-0.
Well, Podence has been probably Wolves' brightest player. He keeps his width. It's a wonderful crossfield ball. It could be close to being offside. I think he may just be on. No, he's going to be given offside. By the looks of it, his right foot.
Yeah, I think when they put the lines on the screen, it looks like he is quite comfortably offside for Saiss. Well, that's a huge disappointing moment, because that was some strike from the edge of the penalty area across the face of the keeper, Meslier, and picking out the bottom corner perfectly with accuracy at power, but it looks as though VAR will be called into action here, and that will be called as offside.
Yeah, it was Podence, wasn't it? Brilliant play from Podence. Turned Klich inside out, and as that ball goes across, I don't know why we're looking here again, I'm pretty sure that's going to be given offside. He tees it up for himself, Saiss, doesn't he? Flicks it up. Wonderful volley. But you feel it's going to be ruled out.
And the referee finally gives the decision.
Which isn't good for my fantasy team, because I've got Saiss, believe it or not. And that would have been quite a few points. But never mind.
That's not a bad decision. Looking at Wolves fixtures, Newcastle coming up, Crystal Palace as well. I can see why you went for Saiss. He has been very good as well in terms of chances created in the penalty area.
It was good play from Podence though, wasn't it? He's been quite bright.
Yeah, he's a lively looking customer. Had a really good performance against Manchester City when potentially could have scored a couple. That's a nice touch from Neto. Dummies to step away from Dallas. Now Semedo. And there's no chance for Semedo to make his way into the penalty area. Struijk comes across with a thundering challenge to turn away and out of play for a throw-in.
Well, although the goal was disallowed, it seems to have buoyed Wolves a little bit, doesn't it?
Yeah, they've certainly got a spring in their step since that moment in this game, despite the goal being cancelled out. Throwing on this near side touchline for Wolves. Semedo has come forward to take this one. Raul Jimenez drops fairly deep into midfield to try to get the ball. And then it's thrown to Neto, who's in an offside position. It's a waste of the ball, and it gives Leeds the opportunity just to alleviate the pressure. It was actually a foul throw-in, I think.
Do you know what? I saw one yesterday which I couldn't believe. A player lifting his foot off the floor when throwing the ball. Professional Premier League footballers earning a ridiculous amount of money taking a foul throw. Just unbelievable.
Well, we've seen it again. 55 minutes into the game. Leeds 0, Wolves 0. Wolves have had the ball in the back of the net in the second period, but it was ruled out for an offside in the build-up. Podence was offside as he delivered the ball into the penalty area. Slightly annoying for Saiss because it was one hell of a strike. Wolves were dominated in the opening period, but they've been better so far in the second half, and they're coming forward again here with Podence. Edge of the penalty area, gets the shot away, and it's palmed away and out for a corner by Meslier, who stretched to get there. And it's Podence again who is causing trouble for Leeds United.
Oh, he started the second half really brightly. Little 1-2, round the corner, gets it back on his left foot, takes it, shifts it, works an opening. Tell you what, that's going in the corner. Good save, Meslier. Well, it's now Wolves that are pressing. Amazing what half-time does to a game.
Meslier had to make the save. You felt that he should have made the save, but he did manage to get there and has pushed away for a corner on the far side for Wolves. Again, the Wolves players lining up on the penalty spots in a line, and the Leeds players trying to disrupt that line of players. And one of those Leeds players, Struijk, is being called over for a conversation with the referee, and will resume play. And the Wolves corner comes in towards Jimenez at the front post. Ayling didn't know too much about the clearance away, but he did manage to get just in front of Raul Jimenez to do just enough, and then Leeds have won a goal kick.
Well, it's Wolves that are the better team now. Like I said, it's amazing what a half-time break does, how it changes a game.
Semedo completely misjudging the ball there has allowed Harrison to step away on the left, space to deliver the cross, and it comes towards Bamford and also Costa. Costa coming in behind Bamford, meets it but doesn't generate the power on the header to trouble the goalkeeper. And now Wolves instantly looking to break up to the other end. Speeding forward is Neto, gets the cross away, did brilliantly to get the cross into the area, and then a vital touch from Struijk with a Wolves player on his shoulder. He manages to turn the ball away. End-to-end stuff here, Kevin.
Yeah, basketball match now, isn't it? Literally, you attack, we'll attack.
This time it's Leeds with Rodrigo on the left-hand side, and now Harrison again with space to get the cross into the box. Gets to the byline, delivers in, and it strikes Kilman. Takes the power and the sting out of the delivery, and it's picked up by Rue Patricio.
But Harrison's giving Semedo a torrid time down this left-hand side. He doesn't know whether to stick or twist. Semedo.
Klich has come towards halfway to pick up the ball. Finds Ayling on the right-hand side. Moves forward towards Rodrigo, but the pass is intercepted by Moutinho. Leeds have done superbly though to win it back. The sliding Rodrigo picks out Phillips, but then Neto does the same. Again, the channel for the pass blocked off. Raul Jimenez set away, instantly has Dallas for company, sprinting back, forces Raul Jimenez to a central area to Podence, and now Jimenez again, who gets away from his man, beats one and then two, and then tangles with Klich inside the penalty area, and Leeds clear away.
Well, the game has opened up so much. We've had 13 minutes, second half, 14 minutes. Really is end to end now.
Jimenez certainly looks to have the bit between his teeth for the second period, and the supporting cast performing particularly well. Neto pacey, Podence skillful, has an eye for the pass. Nearly at the hour mark, Leeds 0, Wolves 0. And Adama Traore stretching, looks like he could be on very soon. Not just yet, but soon.
It's much more of an even contest this second half.
Semedo in towards Podence, who hooks it forward. Didn't really touch the ball the way that he would have liked. Didn't generate the power. Didn't find Patricio. But Wolves have it back. Much the way that Wolves struggled to get out of their own half in the first period. There are times when Leeds struggling to get anywhere near the ball, posing more of a threat than Wolves did in the opening period. So it's maybe a harsh judgment to compare the two performances. Semedo looking to throw quickly, finds Raul Jimenez. Jimenez out towards Neto, and Neto spins into trouble. Harrison coming across to help Dallas on the left-hand side, and Klich then frees Ayling, who's in a central position. Costa bursts forward on the right-hand side, and he's picked out here by Phillips. No, he isn't. It's an intercepting header by Dendoncker, who's across there. Phillips chests the ball down in midfield after it's cleared away by Rui Patricio. Ayling again looking to chip beyond the Wolves' back line, but they'll take those high balls all evening, you feel. Nodded away this time by Kilman. Semedo chips forward. There was a late challenge by Calvin Phillips, not for the first time in this game, and it's Moutinho who's gone down under that challenge, and a yellow card for Calvin Phillips.
Yeah, a bit late, wasn't it? Moutinho plays it. Yeah, oh, not naughty. Trod on his foot. That's going to hurt.
Yeah, not nice, those ones on the toe.
No, not on a cold evening. You'll have a bruised toe tomorrow, that's for sure.
Yeah. 29 minutes remaining. Leeds haven't been the side that they were in the first period, and actually João Moutinho certainly seems to have felt that one in the ankle. He's pointing to the inside of his ankle. He's down on the ground. Well, we said that Ruben Neves may well come onto the field here early on in the second half. He hasn't done because Wolves have been more dominant, but he may be called into action now.
Yeah, we'll have to just wait and see what he does. But they've been bright the second half, Wolves.
Maybe Leeds should have been expecting this though. Maybe in the first half, new boys in the Premier League, got things a bit easier, had things their own way. Well, haven't been allowed to do that in the second half, and they will need to expect that, and they'll need to learn how to deal with that.
Well, yeah, the two halves were never going to be the same. Wolves, I think they were surprised a little bit by the way Leeds came out and literally at them for 45 minutes, but they've got the second win and they look more likely.
Semedo coming forward now, ball back in play, Moutinho back onto his feet, but the pass from Semedo not great. Come from Barcelona with that history, club with that pedigree. There are expectations, especially with the transfer fee too, necessarily living up to that. Klich coming forward, trying to find Bamford edge of the penalty area. Kilman comes in to touch the ball back to his goalkeeper. He's been good tonight, Kilman. Slipped under the radar slightly. He's not watching the replay back, but it goes up for a goal kick in any case.
You could see what he tried. If that had come off, that would have been fantastic skill, wouldn't it?
Lovely. 63 minutes on the clock. Leeds 0, Wolves 0. Dama Traoré did have the tracksuit off a moment ago on the touchline, so we would anticipate that he'll be on the field soon. Maybe just waiting to see whether or not Moutinho runs off that injury from Phillips standing on his toe just a minute ago. Rodrigo losing possession to Moutinho in midfield. Now Podence being pursued by Ayling, looking for the free kick. Goes diving to the ground. Referee won't give that, and it will be a Leeds throw-in on the right-hand side, which they'll take quickly. Hasn't dampened the moods, this Wolves pressure. Leeds still looking to attack Wolves as soon as they possibly can. Dallas ball over the top towards Harrison, gets to the byline, tries to volley the cross into the area. Best he can do is put that one out of play, but it was really the ball from Dallas that was slightly overhit, not really the fault of Harrison. And what we'll get here is that substitution finally. It's maybe a slight, well, maybe not the one that we were expecting, because it's Daniel Podence who's coming off. It will be Traoré to come off, but Kevin, I thought that Podence had played pretty well in the second period.
Yeah, quite a strange one, isn't it? Because we've had 20 minutes of this second half, and Podence has been really bright. He done well for the goal that wasn't, if you like. Then he's forced a good save from Meslier as well, so possibly not the change I would have expected. I would have expected Traoré to come on, yes, but not for Podence.
Kilman carries the ball forward out towards the left-hand side. Wolves are forced back by the Leeds press, and they'll work it all the way across their back line through Coady and then Boly. Bamford is there doing the hard work, grafting away, pressing from the front. They'll force long. Leeds have won it back. And away goes Klich. He's wrestled to the ground, was looking for the advantage. Moutinho will be penalised here with a yellow card. It certainly was a foul. I'm not sure why he was appealing, but I'm not sure why the referee didn't look to play that advantage.
Yeah. So we'll have a look at that. Good skill. Yeah, it's a foul. Bit too keen with a whistle there, the referee, David Koch. Is he the one that was at the centre of the Liverpool-Everton game on Saturday, David Koch, the fourth official, was he?
Oh, now you're testing my knowledge.
I think it might have been, you know. I might be wrong. I stand to be corrected, Adam.
I mean, I did put you on the spot earlier on by saying who would win the Premier League, so I deserve that, if anything. Ball goes back towards the keeper, Meslier. Still has been a game of very few chances, which perhaps it was surprising, because coming into this one, I think we both felt coming into this game there would be lots of goals.
Yeah, but as we say, famous last words.
Yeah, you look at some of previous Leeds performances against Liverpool, 4-3, against Fulham, 4-3. Maybe they have adapted to life in the Premier League slightly, or maybe Wolves have adapted to having to play Leeds tonight. They've certainly made a change at half-time, Wolves, because they've been far more competitive in the second half. Leeds dominated the first period. We've got 23 minutes remaining. Semedo has a throw-in on the right-hand side. Sent forward to the halfway line. Raul Jimenez managing to make some progress down the right. He hasn't necessarily seemed at his best, Raul Jimenez. Certainly not as sharp as I've seen him in previous seasons.
No, he hasn't. He's a strong boy, isn't he?
I really like him as a player.
Yeah.
He's done really well for my fantasy football team. But currently out of my fantasy football team, and based on tonight's performance, I think maybe a good decision.
Yeah. Well, I've got VAR to thank for my one being chalked off. Saiss.
Oh. Didn't have Henderson as well, did you?
No.
Away down the left-hand side goes Neto. Swivels to step away from Klich, who is back on defensive duty. They've done well to find Boly in space, Wolves, but his long ball over the top towards Traoré is intercepted. Traoré has been on the pitch 4 or 5 minutes now, but hasn't managed to touch the ball as of yet. Harrison clips it forward looking for Rodrigo in behind, but Coady chests down and then thumps away to safety. No nonsense from Coady, who continues to impress.
He's a top class defender, isn't he? Read the ball, was there first in the channel. All good centre halves do that. They're out ball side, so it's not a foot race. They're already read it. They're already across, covering their fullback who would have pushed onto the wing up. Brilliant defending from Coady.
It's definitely improved since coming into the Premier League as well. Coming of age as a centre-back. Ayling's cross is intercepted by Kilman, who looks to angle a ball forward towards Jimenez. There was a slip from Struijk. Jimenez not able to take advantage. He has to drift wide, cuts in to the edge of the penalty area, and he looks like he wants to take this alone. Cuts back now onto his right, gets the shot away, and it's taken a cruel deflection on the way through off of Calvin Phillips, and we have the opening goal of the game, and cruelly it's 1-0 to Wolves. Big deflection off of Calvin Phillips.
Well, the key word there is cruelly, because he's trying to get the ball, the defender slips, and all the while Jimenez is trying to get that ball on his right foot. He's running across the edge of the box, it's on his left, he has a chance to shoot, no, he has a chance to shoot, no, shifts it back onto his right. The keeper Meslier has it well covered. Horrible, unfortunate deflection, and it finds its way into the back of the Leeds net. 1-0 Wolves.
So disappointing from a Leeds perspective. It's not a particularly good hit from Raul Jimenez from the edge of the penalty area. It doesn't generate power. There's no way that the shot will trouble the goalkeeper. But racing back, as they like to do, bodies coming streaming back to help out. Leeds United, well, it makes a collision with one of their key players and one of their top performers here tonight. That's just the way football goes sometimes. And now Leeds need a response. 20 minutes to do that. Looks like they've made a change here as well.
It's really unfortunate, wasn't it? The deflection. They know he's trying. They should have tried to keep it. Well, they did. They know he doesn't want to shoot with his left. You could see how comfortable Jimenez was running across the box. He didn't want to use it, but they fall for it, and he checks it back onto his right. Meslier has it covered. You can see that from behind. The defender sticks out his head, and it ends up in the far corner. Unfortunate. Wolves, however, have been brighter this second half.
Costa has been removed for Leeds and replaced by Ian Poveda.
Well, they're not out of this Leeds by any stretch of the imagination. They played very, very well.
Do you think that one goes down as an own goal, or do you think that goes down as a Jimenez strike?
Well, I think the rule is if it's on target, it gets given as a goal, doesn't it? It was on target, but he could have thrown his cap on it, Meslier. But it was going on target. It was going between the sticks.
Maybe I was wrong. Maybe Jimenez was a good player for the fantasy team.
He's cost you a lot of points there, Ad.
Costing Leeds a lot more right now. 18 minutes to go, and there will be another Leeds change in a moment, one that Leeds fans will enjoy, one that will certainly give them the feeling of hope. Pablo Hernandez has the tracksuit off and is ready to come onto the field. We'll have a Wolves free kick first, which is sent forward, and Dallas clips back to the keeper. Must still be slightly wet on the turf here, because Raul Jimenez not the first to fall over in Leeds half in the second period. Did have an incredible amount of rain before the kickoff. Here is Traoré for the first time, gets the chance to show what he can do, and we know what he can do. Glides forward at pace, running at the Leeds defence, finds Neto on the left, inside Leeds penalty area, gets the shot away. Sliding Ayling blocks the shot, spins up into the sky.
Well, the game's certainly changed. Wolves, from the very start of the second half, they were more positive, they were sharper about the pitch. Yeah, big degree of fortune in the way they've taken the lead, but they've been much better this second half.
So Wolves throwing on the left-hand side. Neto comes across to receive it, has 2 white shirts on his back, does really well to spin and win a corner. Well, Leeds continue the commitment, defending in numbers, but they haven't been as much of an attacking threat in the second period. Credit to Nuno Espirito Santo and credit to his players for the way that they've responded after a tough opening 45. Leeds 0, Wolves 1 after that deflected goal for Raul Jimenez. 16 minutes remaining here. The referee again, just before the corner is taken, comes across to have a word with both sets of players. The Wolves players are lined up, one behind another, on the penalty spot. 5 burgundy shirts. The Leeds players trying to disrupt the way that they are setting up. Corner comes in, and Rodrigo, in trying to pick up the ball, is fouled, and there will be a free kick for Leeds inside the penalty area. And we will now get the change. Pablo Hernandez will be introduced for Leeds. Fan favourite at Leeds United, and it's an attacking move as well, because it's Struijk who will come off.
That is an attacking move. Will I go to a back 3? Quite possibly.
Well, it looks as though Phillips is going to drop into the back 4.
Yeah, he has. That's a strange one for me, because you'd want Calvin Phillips in your midfield. Who am I to tell Bielsa though? But he's definitely better further up the pitch. I know he plays the holding role anyway, but you need his passing prowess higher up the pitch, cutting people open.
Well, we'll see. Here's Paveda down the right-hand side. Makes the cross into the area, but Coady, relaxed as you like, controls the ball on the edge of his own 6-yard box and then turns away. They're coming back though, Leeds. Bamford looked like he was being fouled on the edge of the penalty area. Shirt being tugged from behind by Coady, but the appeals are waved away by the referee, and Leeds now on halfway will look to come forward again. And for the first time really in the second period, they have a spell where they are dominating possession. Wolves have dropped a lot deeper. There are 11 burgundy shirts back behind the ball for Wolves. They've won it back. Patricio clears away. He's given it away to Pablo Hernandez. He gets his first touch of the ball. Now here is Dallas. Shifts it wide. Finds Harrison. Moves into midfield. Good move this by Leeds. Finding the space on the left-hand side for Rodrigo. Wide to Harrison, who gets the cross away. Fizzed across the 6-yard box. Slightly too high for Bamford, and they can't keep it in play on the far side.
We feel that the route back in for Leeds again could be down this left-hand side. Great link-up play. Good cross. Rodrigo and Dallas and Harrison all causing a real threat. And again, Semedo looks troubled as a defender, doesn't he?
Yeah, Semedo's had a really tough afternoon against Harrison, I should say evening. Leeds carry the ball away at the back. It's lofted forward by Koch on the left-hand side of defence. Nodded on by Dallas on halfway. Does well to pick out Rodrigo on the burst. Out to the left-hand side, and Harrison is there again. Back in field towards Dallas. Now Klich. They move it from left to right. Pablo Hernandez looking to try to conjure something, as he likes to do. Drops deep to pick up the ball. Shifts it wide. Paveda cuts in field. Wolves are back in shape. Difficult for Leeds to pick space between the lines. That's what they need to try and do though. It's carried forward to the edge of the penalty area and shifted on by Harrison, but couldn't pick out Bamford. Didn't really make the kind of run that Harrison was looking for. And then Adama Traore fouled on halfway.
Oh, contentious. It doesn't look like a foul to me, that.
He was definitely looking for it.
He was. And he takes some knocking over. Adama Traore. That's a good tackle for me.
Dallas is penalised by the referee, who doesn't agree with Kevin and I. 12 minutes to go until the 90. May well be some additional time on top as well. Leeds 0, Wolves 1. Jimenez with a deflected effort. That goal separates the two teams. Unfair on Leeds, who on the balance of play so far have probably been the better sides. They just haven't created enough chances. Trying to set Bamford away here. We'll go shoulder to shoulder with Semedo and does brilliantly to win a corner. Back heel as he looked like he'd lost the ball, chasing down those lost causes. And Leeds now have a corner kick, which Harrison will come forward to take.
Really good from Bamford. Again, that was a lost cause, like you say. Refused to give up, chased it, got his team a corner.
Hernandez, Leeds substitute, curls the delivery to the back of the penalty area, nodded away to the edge of the box. Neto there to meet it, and then touched on its way by Dendoncker. And now Neto fancies his chances up against Dallas, goes around the outside of the defender, does superbly well to hold up the ball, and then loses it. And Hernandez can carry forward for Leeds. Space to move into on this left-hand side. Forward comes Harrison. Pass comes in slightly behind Harrison, not where he really wanted it from Hernandez. Has to come back in field towards Klich. Thinks about the shot, decides to move on towards Ayling. Chance to deliver into the penalty area for Leeds. Comes through towards Harrison. Rodrigo demanding it, so too is Hernandez, and his deflected shot goes creeping over the top of the crossbar.
Pushing again, Leeds. 4-5 players in the box. Cut back from Harrison. Hernandez just trying to side foot into that bottom corner. Good defending, Boly. But yet again, another home corner.
Deflection off of Boly, could have taken the ball anywhere. Out for a corner, delivered in by Phillips. Not the best of deliveries, nodded away at the front post comfortably. And as far as Klich, delivers back into the box. Rodrigo the target, might drop here for Ayling, but it's turned away by Wolves, who look to set Neto free on the left hand side. Neto can't get past Ayling, who just puts his body in the way. Leeds will start again from inside their own half. They have 10 minutes of regular time to try to grab at least an equaliser in this game. Rodrigo nods the ball out towards the right hand side. Certainly been a shift, hasn't there, Kevin, in the way that the game is playing out. Wolves were dominating, but now it's Leeds who are really trying to force the issue.
Yeah, like I say, it's been more of an even contest this second half. Leeds possibly not as good as they were in the first. They still played well, mind, but Wolves have been much better. It's much more of an even contest, but like we expected, it's like a basketball game, end to end. Really good to watch.
Fitness of these players to be able to maintain this over the course of what has been 81 minutes so far is incredible. Harrison will be taken off. It's another bizarre change for me. He's been one of Leeds' better players. Coming on is Rafinha. And Wolves looking to bring on Neves as well, and Moutinho will be the man to come off and be replaced by Ruben Neves.
Yeah, like for like midfielders.
Yeah, you just sense that Leeds starting to creep into the game more and more, and Neves will provide some energy in the middle.
How wonderful to see one of these wonderful strikes from distance that he's known for.
He's not quite kicked on as you might have expected, Ruben Neves, has he?
No, he hasn't. He hasn't.
It's a poor defensive header by Semedo. Lucky that there's no Jack Harrison stood behind him. He's just come off of the field, manages to recover and turn away. Leeds have picked up the ball again on halfway. Ayling, crossfield diagonal ball, looking to pick out the substitute. Rafinha does so brilliantly. There's a cut back into a really good area. Might break here for Leeds, and it could be another deflected goal, but it's gone all the way across the face of goal. And a sigh of relief for Wolves as they manage to clear up and get the ball away.
You feel it's coming, don't you? It's intense pressure now from Leeds. Wolves, everybody back behind the ball, playing on the counter-attack.
Rodrigo.
Yeah, that doesn't look a nice tackle, that.
Stepped away from the sliding Coady. I think Coady was very lucky there not to connect in any way with Rodrigo. Calvin Phillips in his new position, centre-back for the final few moments of this game. 7 minutes remaining here. Wolves continue to lead Elland Road 1-0, but Bamford's into the penalty area. Heavy touch though as he tried to step away from Coady and Boly, and he touches it all the way through to Rui Patricio.
Yeah, we're just watching that Leeds chance again. Again it's behind Semedo. Again they get in down this left-hand side. Cut back. Oh.
Yeah, it's Paveda coming in at the far post. He gets the shot away, deflected up, but well, it could have gone anywhere, and luckily for Wolves it didn't go anywhere.
Semedo's definitely been shaky as a defensive part of this Wolves unit, and I think Leeds know that. The amount of diagonal passes they're hitting over the young fullback's head, I think they know that's an avenue they can pursue.
Bamford fouling Semedo as the crossfield diagonal ball came over, and Semedo went to ground. Shame for Leeds, because Dallas would have picked up that ball and been in the penalty area. Don't really think there was any reason for Bamford to make that decision and to make that foul.
Yeah, there wasn't. He's just trying to gain his team a bit of an advantage there.
Cleared away at the back by Dallas, but only as far as Donka. Hernandez comes across, scrapping to win the ball inside Leeds half, and then takes a risky decision to pass back to Phillips, but just evades Raul Jimenez. Phillips overhits the pass. Ayling's quick, but he's not that quick. He won't get to that. And the ball goes out for a Wolves throw-in on the far side.
We've had 85 minutes. That's the first pass Calvin Phillips has put astray. That's some pass completion. From my recollection, I don't remember him giving the ball away.
Forward comes Neto, gets past Ayling on the left-hand side, makes his way down towards the corner flag, and he's quite happy to stay out there. And I think that probably tells you a story that Wolves would see this as a very good result to come away here as 1-0 winners, and they are slightly nervous about what Leeds might be able to do if they get to the other end.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, judging by this Leeds performance, I think if anyone comes here and wins, it will take a good performance. Like I say, Wolves weren't really at it in the first half. They didn't play bad, it's just that Leeds were excellent. But you need to score goals when you're on top.
Rodrigo has found that pocket of space in midfield, again looking to play in Bamford, but Conor Coady positioned well as he has been all game. Just seems to know where the ball will drop and manages to get the ball away from the danger zone.
Yeah, sign of a good defender. Great touch from Rodrigo. But again, there he is, that ball side. He knows where Bamford wants to run, and he's already there.
Yeah, as soon as Rodrigo stepped into that area between midfield and defence, as soon as he turned his shoulder, tried to play that ball through, Conor Coady had already made the step. Clever move. Very good defender, continues to impress. Doing everything he can to be part of the England setup come the European Championship. Dendoncker scrapping for the ball in midfield, has managed to win it, finds Neves. Neves scoops one out towards Traoré, sprinting into Leeds half on the right. He has a glance into the penalty area. No surprises that he's on his own, given his speeds. Had to wait for support, and in waiting was dispossessed by Dallas, and Leeds can bring the ball away.
Well, Dallas is obviously a strong boy, because it takes a lot to get Traoré off the ball. I can tell you that.
I read that Traoré doesn't go to the gym. Surely not.
Well, yeah. Can you believe that? I'm a bit apprehensive about that myself.
2.5 minutes remaining in the game. It's Leeds 0, Wolves 1. Hernandez in possession into Rodrigo in the penalty area, right side of it, with Coady right up behind him, so he has to go backwards for support. Manages to find Ayling. Rodrigo steps back outside of the penalty area, gives it back to Ayling, who's looking to get the cross away, and it comes, and it's too close to Ruben Patricio, and he gathers, falls on top of the ball inside the 6-yard box, just tries to waste a couple of moments.
Well, they're running out of time, the home team now. They've played well, but they've not worked Patricio as much as they would have liked.
Yeah, they've been excellent in build-up, dominated for long passages of play, but they don't create enough chances. Leeds, if you look at the shots on target for the game, they've only had 2. For all their dominance of the ball, it's probably not enough.
No, well, nowhere near enough. Nowhere near enough. They've got to get their shots off.
You can make complaints about that, I think, at championship level when teams are sitting deep, but for long spells of this game, Wolves haven't done that. Against better opposition, I don't think you can make the same excuses.
Oh no, teams are not going to, Leeds are new to the Premier League, and everybody knows that they're a decent outfit, but there won't be many that sit back against them. So they will get room to play, they will get room to get their shots off.
It's a late challenge on Raul Jimenez. The Wolves bench are not happy, and so this will be something that's certainly watched. The referee is in discussion with the video assistant team, just asking the players around to be quiet. Jimenez has stayed down, clutching his ankle. We have a minute remaining of time, and so it's difficult from the angle I've just seen to see whether or not it was a bad challenge or not. It was Koch who looked like the man right at the centre of things.
Nothing really in it for me. I don't know what Wolves are going mad for. I don't really see anything in it.
It's almost like they might be trying to waste some time right at the end of the game.
I was just about to say that, Ad. I think you're right.
Call me cynical, but
okay, cynical.
So Jimenez comes in for the ball. This is a better angle, and actually from that angle it does look as though Koch may well have crunched into the ankle. Raul Jimenez then does kick out as well, which I've not really got any time for.
No time at all, but nothing in it like we thought.
Has been a change for Wolves with Marcal coming on, Neto being removed, so a defensive change. Back underway, free kick taken. We'll get 6 minutes of additional time here, so maybe chance for Leeds to go on and grab something.
Well, they've still got to hurry up. 6 minutes, it's long enough.
A lot can happen in 6 minutes, as the saying often goes.
There's that diagonal ball again, out to this left-hand side.
Here is Dallas, who picks up that diagonal ball from Ayling. Klich shifts it beyond Dendoncker. All hands on deck now for this Wolves defence, pressing the ball at every occasion. Traoré picks out one of those long diagonal balls and now looks to scamper away and out to the right hand side. Does really well just to hold the ball up, and that's exactly why he's on the field of play. Works it back into his defence, evades a couple of challenges, combining well with Dendoncker.
Very good play, Traoré.
And Neves, who just comes in, decides to stump the ball into touch. And that will do for Wolves. I'll be quite happy with how this additional time is playing out so far, just trying to frustrate Leeds at every opportunity. Hernandez on halfway, goes backwards towards Klich. Looked like a foul from Jimenez, but play on, says the referee. And now Wolves come forward. They've got numbers over. It's Neves who strikes. We'll get a second bite of the cherry here, and maybe even a third. In the end, cleared away in the middle after a couple of excellent blocks by the Leeds defence on the edge of the penalty area.
Well, you would have thought that a pass would have been a better option. That's a good tackle, actually. Neves is away, running. What you do in training as a back four, close the gaps, does brilliantly. Phillips, then Ayling does brilliant. But you can't help but thinking that Neves would have been better off sucking those centre halves in and then just finding a pass to Jimenez.
Leeds have 3.5 minutes until the full-time whistle. They are 1 down at home against Wolves. For long periods of the game, they've been the better side. The result still stands. Rafinha making his way down the left-hand side. Well, he made really good ground, didn't he, down that left, and found a really good space with which to get the cross away. But the delivery, well, it was poor.
It was disappointing, wasn't it? Again, getting in behind Semedo. But once he gets there, Rafinha, he needs to do better. 93 minutes on
last moments at the end of this game for both Leeds and Wolves fans. Wouldn't be the first time that Leeds have had late drama in one of their games this season. Will it happen again? Look back to that Sheffield United game where Bamford scored late on. Moves the ball out towards the right hand side. Paveda shifts past one challenge and then is shoved to the ground and wins a free kick inside Wolves' half. Just over 2 minutes remaining. Opportunity for Leeds to put one into the penalty area.
Well, you feel it's got to go in the box now. Last chance saloon.
Well, they've taken it short. Hernandez moves it wide. Paveda. Plenty of passes before getting it into the box. Why do they not just take the free kick into the penalty area? Raul Jimenez able to clear away.
Yeah, exactly right. Just put it in there in one. It was on a good angle anyway. It didn't need to work an angle.
Coming forward again, Ayling out towards the right hand side, but Rafinha didn't read the pass and they clear it away. But it's just simple maths. If you need to take 4 touches to hit the penalty area, or if you need to take 1, just get it there in 1.
Just do it, yeah.
Neves touches the ball away. As he clears away, the best he can do is touch it out for a corner, and maybe Leeds will get that final chance. 1 minute 20 remaining on the clock.
Well, this is last chance now, isn't it?
Yeah, this really is. They've had a number of corners in this game. Leeds, 8 already. Haven't punished Wolves as of yet. Will we get some late drama here? Deep one to the back of the box. Klich is there. Really poor delivery. Klich does manage to keep in play. Gets the delivery into the box. Diving header. Sends it away from Neves. Phillips on the right. Now Hernandez in midfield. Every Wolves player back behind the ball. Vader with a chance to deliver. Blocked by Semedo and cleared away.
That needs
Final
to be
ball.
better.
It's lacking, isn't it?
Yeah, it needs to be better.
Phillips out to Klich on the left. Has to go backwards. Finds Dallas. Dallas shifts it into the middle. Leeds continue to pass the ball around rather than put it into the area. Eventually the cross comes up towards Bamford. 3 burgundy shirts around. Cleared away. Another cross from Leeds into the area. Again, Bamford was the target, and again Bamford couldn't get there. And there goes the final whistle. And Wolves cling on. Well, Leeds dominated the first period and potentially will look back and think that they should have scored during that period. Wolves got the goal in the second half, a deflected one, a cruel blow. It's Jimenez who gets the winner. Here are the highlights of tonight's game. Saiss is there, might be a chance for Podence just before half-time, and it's palmed away by Meslier, who at the second attempt dives on the top of the ball. Now plays a pass out towards the right-hand side to Podence, who can attack Klich, who's in a right full-back position. Cuts into the area, flipped away with the header only as far as Saiss on the volley. What a strike! What a strike!
It could be close to being offside. I think he may just be on. No, he's going to be given offside. By the looks of it, his right foot.
Referee finally gives the decision.
Which isn't good for my fantasy team because I've got Saiss, believe it or not.
Wolves were dominated in the opening period, but they've been better so far in the second half, and they're coming forward again here with Podence. Edge of the penalty area, gets the shot away and is palmed away and out for a corner by Meslier. Ayling's cross is intercepted by Kilman, who looks to angle a ball forward towards Jimenez. There was a slip from Struijk. Cuts back now onto his right, gets the shot away, and it's taken a cruel deflection on the way through off of Calvin Phillips, and we have the opening goal of the game, and cruelly it's 1-0 to Wolves. So it finishes here tonight with Leeds going down at Elland Road. Leeds 0, Wolves 1. Kevin Watson, your thoughts on the game tonight?
Leeds should have scored in the first half when they dominated the game. Didn't really work the keeper though. Patricio enough. Wolves were never going to be as poor as they were in the first half. I say poor. Leeds just outfought them, outworked them. They looked fitter, but Wolves came back into it in the second half, and although a deflected goal. They still played much better than they did in the first half. A draw would have probably been a fair result. Leeds didn't work the keeper enough. But there you go, there's that deflected goal. And Wolves go back with all 3 points.
Wolves do go back with all 3 points. Thanks for listening to Premier League Live tonight.
Evenings with James Whale on Talk Radio. Keep connected with round-the-clock news, essential information and expert insight.
I think we've got to be very careful about the way this has all been going on.
Cutting through the confusion with everything you need to stay safe, informed and entertained.
Everyone's going on about, we should be tracking and testing, and I just don't know how that is going to happen.
Evenings with James Whale, weeknights from 7 on Talk Radio.
In a world of 24/7 global sportscasting and instant news infotainment, one man bestrides the airwaves like a snow-capped Caledonian colossus.
Hello, I'm Jim White.
Jim White, anchorman.
Mid-morning news team, assemble.
Jim White and Natalie Sawyer, the #1 rated news source for breaking sports stories, big-name guests, and liquid showbiz charisma.
Great Odin's Ravens. That's quite a transfer.
There's nothing burgundy about Jim White. Tomorrow morning from 10 on Talk Sport.
In the spring of the year 2020 AD, a deadly enemy rages like a torrent of fire between the ends of empire.
My name is Maximus Talk Sportus Pandemicus, gladiator of the sports radio. Gird up your loins and battle the invasion of COVID-19, because what you do today will echo